Welcome to the Hochman crowd of Solana. Welcome to the Hochman crowd of Solana. Welcome to the Hochman crowd of Solana. Welcome to the show, 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 crowd of Solana. Welcome to the show with the three amigos. Hochman, Crowder, and Solana on FM radio. Them boys be sliding, so we riding and we ready to go. 100,000 watts full throttle, baby, ready to blow. We passing poker out to Jupiter, we got your attention. You can tune in anywhere, but listen at your discretion. To the legend, Mr. Hochman can't stop him, each of the deuce. My brother got his own hot burger at Tucker Deuce. Now my Rushmore of these sports, spitting the truth. It's Channing Crowder, greatest Dolphins who rock the 52. Solana one best of Miami, the voice of FIU. We reppin' to Miami, the Heat and the Panthers too. We reppin' for the Marlins, the Dolphins, that's how we do. We reppin' for the Crips, so it's always about the you. Hey Jimmy, please get a Pell on the phone and tell him that it's on. I finally got his name on the song. Can't do it wrong, cause it sounds so sweet. You spit the facts while I keep the crowd on their feet. Football season be the reason that I be bringing this heat. Georgia music representing 104.3. Hey,
Live from the palatial yet not overly ostentatious studios of 104.3 FM WQAM. This is a Tuesday edition of Hochman, Crowder, and Solana. Zach Gelb here with you, and we have a big echo on the stream right now. And I was such a professional there for the first 7 or 8 seconds, and then after that, it is absolutely horrible. So I'm getting a massive echo. But we are here, and there the echo is away. It is Zach Gelb, Channing Crowder, Alejandro Solana, Dan Day also back in the shop. We got an action-packed show for you today. We'll talk some Miami Hurricanes with Roddy Jones coming up in about 20 minutes from now at 2:25. We will carry the Klay Thompson press conference as he gets introduced as the latest member of the Miami Heat organization coming up at 3. But we start the show today. I was in a wonderful mood, had a great time being in South Florida, had a lot of good food, and I get back, I sit down in this chair ready to go to do the show. Channing pops up about a minute before the show starts, right? He was early, right on time. There we go. And Channing, who I get a lot of comments from people because he usually wears that Tampa Bay Buccaneers hat, and people go, what's that piece of crap on his head? Well, Channing walked into our pre-show meeting today 1 minute before the show with a towel on his head. And now as we start the show today, about 2 or 3 minutes later, there's no towel on his head. And for anyone that has no clue what I'm talking about, when you get out of a shower, you know, you're a girl, you have long hair, and you put a towel on your head. Now Channing is back, and you quite frankly look like you could be like the Pharaoh of Egypt or something like right now. How are you, Channing?
I'm good, man. I had to dry my dreads out because I washed them today, but I'm good. I swear, when the echo happened, I thought you were celebrating Klay Thompson and you were doing the PA announcer.
Oh.
Because it sounded like a PA.
Thompson, 4-3.
I was like, this is genius. I really thought it was genius, but I just see it was just a Solana being Solana.
You know I am very talented, and I set a very high bar around here. I'm not that talented to start the show where I'm going to echo my own name, Solana's name, your name, just to get some palpable buzz in this joint for the Klay Thompson press conference at 3 p.m. that once again we will carry live.
Oh, I'm excited. This is big.
Well, here's the thing. So I was thinking about this over the weekend because Solana was like a pig rolling in doo-doo when we got the news on the air that Klay Thompson was coming to Miami, as he should be. Like, I know people are going to call Solana a homer and when he sets the bar so high. But I was on my flight down to Miami this weekend. I was thinking to myself, what's a successful season for the Miami Heat? Because going into last year, there was no expectation. And you now go into this season, you have a top 10 player in Giannis Antetokounmpo. You have a franchise legend in Bam Adebayo. Now you get one of the greatest shooters in the history of the game, even though he is past his prime, but he could still waltz in here and go off for 15 points per night and hit 5 or 6 threes if you want as well per night. Like, he has the ability to give you some games of vintage Klay Thompson. They bring in a franchise legend's son in Tim Hardaway Jr., and obviously the immortal Pelle Larsson is on this team. So you have all these pieces. Bobby Portis brought in this offseason. I was thinking to myself, on my way to Miami, like, what's a successful season for the Heat this year? And I'm curious what you guys have to say.
We're a championship or bust city, Gelby.
I vehemently disagree.
Realistically or cockily? Because cocky, we're going to win it all. But realistically, we have to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, like bare minimum for you to
Yes.
say, okay, that wasn't a disaster. That wasn't a failure. You're saying the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, with what Philly did and, just everybody. The Knicks, I won't leave them out, Gil. Don't get mad at me. I should have started with the Knicks.
You know what? I think there's a misnomer on this show. People think like I'm this crazy person that just try to shove the Knicks down your throat.
Yeah.
Like Solana, you, and Hawk are the ones that make me like I am this insufferable New York jackass. Like, it is wild the way that you guys paint me.
No, I think that's just you, bro. I think that's just you.
What they say, a hit dog, a holler, Gilby. That's what happens. It's just, but no, it would be Eastern Conference Finals or bust. That has to be it. You get knocked off in the quarters, or don't even talk about a play-in game. That's out of the question.
Well,
but
if they're in the play-in tournament, two things. One, they either suffered an abundance of injuries, or two, Solana oversold this team to the nth degree. Because if they are in a play-in tournament spot with the team that they have assembled, and I'm not sitting here saying that this is the greatest team I've ever seen. I'm not like some other Stu Nods down below to the left that go, this is the best roster in the NBA, and then a second later say it's one of the best rosters in the NBA. Like, this is a very good team.
Yeah.
I think on paper they're the third or fourth. You could even tell me maybe even the fifth best team in the Eastern Conference. I don't think they're better than Philly. I don't think they're better than the Knicks. And that's why, like, Crowder, I sat there in the play and I said Eastern Conference Finals, but then I sat there and I said, well, I don't have them as the first or second team in the East. So if they do get to the postseason, which they will, and they win a playoff series, which they should, like, bowing out in the second round, if they do so admirably in 6 or 7 games, I don't think I would walk away saying this team really accomplished something this season.
But I don't understand something. And by the way, like, I was going to say this year, to me, a successful season is competing for the NBA title. That's getting to the conference finals. That's maybe getting to the NBA finals. And you're right. Conversations of play-in at any point this season would be a massive failure. It would likely be the outcome of injury. So I'm with you there. But how could you realistically tell me that, A, I'm crazy for arguing. I went back, I listened to the tape, just arguing that this is one of the best rosters in the NBA. And secondly, how could you realistically tell me that, look, they could be the third, they could be the fourth, there's an argument for them to be the fifth best team in the Eastern Conference, and then set the bar at Eastern Conference Finals or bust? That means you believe there's 3, 4, potentially 5 teams who are better than the Miami Heat. So if that's the case, if that's where you guys are going with this roster, then you should be fine with this team getting to the second round, the conference semifinals, and then losing to one of the teams that you claim are better than the Miami Heat.
Okay, so a few things to unpack there. The question I asked was, what's a successful season for the Miami Heat? And that could be very ambiguous how people could view it. I personally think they're the third best team in the Eastern Conference. So if they get to the second round of the NBA playoffs and they lose to the second best team in the Eastern Conference, I can't sit there and say that the season was a failure. But I'm not going to be sitting there saying that it was some massive success. Like, for them to impress me, for me to say, okay, like, you know what? I'm looking forward to the next season. And they really built something this year. They really accomplished something this year. It would be getting to an Eastern Conference Finals. Like, if you just get to the second round of the playoffs, it's like, okay, they had all this hoopla of what has been, let me be clear here, a phenomenal offseason.
No.
You know, the only other thing I think you could ask for is maybe they would have got LeBron. But, like, for what we asked of Pat Riley to do, Pat Riley not only had a successful offseason, he had a successful offseason, then times it by 3. Like, he had a very good offseason. But now into the regular season, if we do all that and it just leads into the postseason of you win one playoff series, it would feel a bit disappointing.
Yeah, you talk about 3, 4, 5. I swear I feel like I can coach them to the worst 4. Because like you say, the Knicks and Philly, okay, who are you jumping in? Boston? Like who's jumping in the 3 spot if they don't have the 3 spot? That's my question.
There's a lot of good teams in the East, man, which is another
Raptors.
The Raptors, the Pacers, who
Pistons.
are getting Tyrese Halliburton back. The Pistons were the 1 seed in the Eastern Conference last year.
Tyrese Halliburton is Julius Irving. Everybody says, oh, they got Tyrese Halliburton
They
back.
made the
He's good.
he's good, but they made the NBA Finals and they had the Thunder in a 7th game. And he got hurt. I understand that, but I hate to now be this New York jackass. That's what a lot of you guys said about Jalen Brunson. He's good, but everyone's making him to be out to be like Magic Johnson, the greatest thing of all time. And then who just won the championship? Thank you very much. The defenses rest.
Tyrese Halliburton, Crowder, is a legit force to be reckoned with in this league. They added Ivica Zubac. They have Pascal Siakam, who throughout that entire playoff run played like one of the best 20 players in the NBA. So I'm not writing the Pacers off. I'm not writing the Atlanta Hawks off. Not that they're in the conversation to win the East, but the East is significantly better. It seems like
maybe
everybody
the Magic
in the
put
East,
it together.
I wouldn't bet on the Magic.
With your favorite player, Paolo Banchero, who you couldn't pronounce his name.
He hates the Magic. He loves he for some reason he hates the Magic.
It's not that I hate the Magic.
It's little brother to him. That's what it is in the state of Florida.
But it's not even little. Like, the Magic want to make it a rivalry. The Orlando Magic want to make it a thing. Oh, Magic, Miami, interstate rival. And they're just, it's nothing to us. But Orlando constantly wants to pretend like they're a top player in the East or that they've been a top organization in the NBA. They've won 0 NBA titles. They competed for 1 NBA title since Shaq left. That was with Dwight Howard. Then he left them high and dry just like Shaq did. They've done absolutely nothing other than sweep us in 5 games last season, in the regular season, which I'm not happy about. But, whatever. Congratulations, Orlando.
You know what Heat and Magic are like? And let me preface this by saying I believe Alejandro Solana is the preeminent voice on the radio when talking about the Miami Heat. He is the voice of the Heat fan. As much crap as we give Solana, I do admire the work that he does when talking Miami Heat basketball. With that being said, I'm like the Heat. He's like the Magic in this Gelb Solana rivalry. That's what it is for people to understand the way that Solana views it.
Okay.
All righty. So what's a successful season for the Miami Heat this year? Crowder and I both say get to the Eastern Conference Finals. For you, Solana, it is what?
Yeah, it's get to the NBA Finals. And that doesn't mean that if they fail to do so, if they lose to the Knicks, Gelb, I'll give your Knicks the respect that they deserve. They lose to the Knicks in the second round of the playoffs. But the series, but the series is competitive, and Miami looks like they belong. Maybe they'd be a piece away. If they lose to the Philadelphia 76ers because they pull that thing together in the Eastern Conference Finals, to me, as long as they look like they belong with the top teams in the East, I'd come away from this season saying, okay, you're headed in the right direction. But Pat Riley was very clear when he sat down at the podium next to Giannis Antetokounmpo and said, we're going for it this year. So in my mind, they don't believe, like a lot of people were speculating, that this is a 2-3 year rebuild around Giannis Antetokounmpo. They expect to win an NBA title this season, especially now that they add Klay Thompson. And I think their roster is good enough to be in that mix.
Thompson.
But Solana, you're running the fence on this. What's a successful season? You said a successful season is going to the NBA Finals. But if they compete in the East, then I'll be happy with that because we're building on something. That's what's success.
Because you can look at this in several different ways. The Miami Heat are a team that has always said what? There's winning and there's misery, right? That's a direct quote from Pat Riley. And if you don't win the NBA title, then that season is not a successful season. They've put themselves back in that category, Crowder. That's the category they've put themselves back in. However,
I'm not ready to go there yet. I still don't look at championship or bust with this team. I don't.
It's not bust. It's just not success.
That's winning or misery.
That's why. I'm trying to delineate. I'm trying to delineate between the two.
If they miss the playoffs, if they are a play-in tournament team, if they lose in the first round of the playoffs, that's misery. Misery. If they get to the second round and get swept or lose in 5 games, disappointing. If they lose on a buzzer beater by Jaylen Brown in Game 7 of the second round of the playoffs, I wouldn't say it's a failure. I would say maybe slightly disappointing, but they're right there. They go to the Eastern Conference Final, success. They go to the NBA Finals, success. They win the NBA championship, success. That's what I think the levels are when looking at this, where there's success, there's failure, and there's a way where it could kind of go either way depending on what happens in the second round of the playoffs.
What about Philly in 5 in the Eastern Conference Finals? but you see the dominant team.
Oh, see, that's an interesting one because now I'm going to eat my words here. If they get to the Eastern Conference Finals but then get embarrassed like what the Cavs did, tough to say it's a successful season. But I couldn't I couldn't slam them for it because they would exceed what necessarily maybe I expected out of this team.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop dancing around like everybody else. You have to win a championship, whether it's an Eastern Conference championship or whether it is a championship. What's Pat Riley doing this for? To get into the second round and have a good showing? They got 3 legitimate Hall of Famers on the team. 3 legitimate Hall of Famers on the team.
Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. Dan Day, you spent 15 years in the league. You're a Hall of Famer, all right?
And to quote the great Zach Gelb, a phenomenal offseason. What is all that?
It was huge.
Well, with all that, you have to win a championship.
But here's the thing. This is not a great team, Dan. It's not. If you're telling me the Miami Hurricanes championship or bust, absolutely I'm with you. And I hold my team so high standard. You're telling me the Florida Panthers, who I think are the best organization in hockey, yes, would totally get it. This Heat team, I don't look at them this year. And I understand you as a fan, right, saying, hey, it's been a while, even though that's a little you're sitting in there on a throne of an organization that has been spoiled with how many championships they've won in the last 20 years. But it's I don't look at this team on the same level right now with the Thunder, with the Spurs, with the New York Knicks, or even the Sixers. They're getting the train back on the track, but I don't think this is the Amtrak Express that you're on right now, and there's still going to be some bumps along the way.
Yeah, that backcourt.
Always going to be bumps on the way, but that's what my definition of success is.
Dan Day coming with the fire here on a Tuesday. It's Hochman, Crowder, and Solana. Zach Gelb in for Hawk. Let's quickly get to headlines because Roddy Jones is going to join us coming up in a few minutes.
All right, guys. Your headlines, they're brought to you by Doral Hyundai. In Miami, we go to the beach for a little solcito. And when you want a low price, you save with your Pricito. Save now with your Pricito at Doral Hyundai. So Klay Thompson will have his introductory press conference at 3 o'clock. Tobin is there, and I'm expecting Tobin to join us a little bit after the intro presser just to kind of recap what happened. But we will carry it live here at 3 o'clock on FM 104.3 WQM. Your home for Klay Thompson, Giannis, and Bam Adebayo in the Miami Heat. And Solana.
Yeah, throw yourself in there.
First ballot Hall of Famers. 3 of them, legit, Gelb. I don't use bad mouth if you want to. Legit Hall of Famers.
Bam, first ballot?
Yes.
When it's all said and done, yes.
I think. No.
Okay.
Bam got, what he got, 8 years left?
Giannis, yes. Giannis is an all-time great. Klay, yes. Klay is, in the shooting world, an all-time great. I love Bam. Love Bam. If we did this the way baseball does it or the way that the NFL does it, Bam would not be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Tremendous Miami Heat, all-time great Miami Heat. I'm not saying that he's a first ballot Hall of Fame NBA player.
He's 29, Gelb.
He's great, but he's not in. Is he a top 75 player of all time?
No, I'm not. We're not arguing that. But he's 29 years old, and this is the Basketball Hall of Fame. He's going into the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Oh, I didn't debate that.
Right. Okay.
I just first ballot that doesn't mean as much in the NBA as it does the other sports.
I think he's about to go crazy over the next. He's 29. He got 11 years left probably. He on the LeBron track.
There's some easy jokes to make at Crowder today that I'm just going to wait later on in the show. 1 in 4 people. That's all I'm going to say.
The Marlins, man. The Marlins, they were beating the Red Sox yesterday, and they lost 4-2. Another stinker at the end of the game. They gave up a run in the 8th and then a couple in the 9th. So they lose 4-2. That ends their winning streak. They're going to play the Red Sox again tonight, 6:40 p.m., try to salvage this series. They'll play them again tomorrow at 6:40 p.m. as well before they're off. And then they will play the Nationals in the nation's capital on Friday. There was Dolphins practice today, gentlemen, and we had several different notes from practice. I'll get to more of them later on during 15 minutes of Game Day Uncensored. But the big news, Chris Bell will play on Friday. That's from Jeff Hafley, so that is big news for Dolphins fans who want to see this rookie wide receiver.
Was he supposed to be out till November?
Yeah, I mean, there was never a concrete date, but, bro, he tore his ACL 9 months ago. 9 months.
I like it. That's
Yeah.
something special.
Your weather in South Florida right now, it is 150,000 degrees. Tonight, the lows are going to drop into the low 80s. That's brought to you by Tornado Roofing and Contracting. Beat the storm. Schedule a free roof and window estimate today. Call 954-968-8155.
It's Hochman, Crowder, and Solana. Gelb in for Hawk on this Tuesday. We'll take a break. It's all about the U. We preview the Hurricanes' upcoming season, chat a little ACC with one of the best in the business for ESPN covering college football. Roddy Jones joins us next.
We apologize. This is the Hawk and Crowder Show.
Hot sauce flavored hard seltzers.
Disgusting, and I'm black.
Terrible. And he is black. I can confirm if you don't have the video feed.
Hey, what's up, Roddy? How's it going, man?
Guys?
Good. You hear me okay?
Hey, I got you. Yep.
Yeah, you got us.
Yes,
Awesome,
sir.
man. We'll be back in about 90 seconds. Just finishing out some commercials. Just want to test with you to make sure you could hear us okay.
All right. Oh, that's better. I'm on my mic.
All right. Cool. I'm gonna put you behind the scenes. We'll be back in 90 seconds.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Alrighty, welcome back in. It is Hochman, Crowder, and Solana. Zach Gelb in for Hawk on this Tuesday. We're gearing up for Canes season right around the corner. It's championship or bust mode for the U after losing to the national championship game a year ago. We welcome in one of the best covering college football for ESPN, the ACC network, and you can also catch him on Sirius XM. That is Roddy Jones. Roddy, appreciate the time. How are you?
Appreciate you guys having me. I'm doing great. We got some ball to talk about this week, and not just court cases and who's going where. And so yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to have some ball to talk about.
Yeah, I actually wish that I practiced law in college because everything in college sports is a litigious situation right now, and I'm not smart enough to understand really much any of it. So let's get to football right out of the gate. I look at the Canes heading into this season. I thought Darian Mensah was the best transfer quarterback in the portal. You have Malachi Tony, who's one of the best players in college football, period. You have Mark Fletcher back, and then you bring in Cooper Barkade over from Duke with Darian Mensah. I don't think there's one offense better than the U's going into this season, and that's Oregon's. How about yourself?
Yeah, I think Oregon, Ohio State are in that conversation. Those would be the two that jump to the top of my mind because Miami still does have some questions on the offensive line. I'm not like super concerned about it because it's what Mario Cristobal does. And they're going to start Jackson Cantwell, the freshman, at one of the tackle spots. I've heard from offensive line coaches that train guys on the side that he is one of the best prospects they've ever seen, and especially at his size. So I think he's going to be fine. But can that offensive line be as elite as it was last year, particularly in the run when blocking the run? I mean, that's a legitimate question. It's not a slight to that offensive line. It's just like you had like Francis Maui Noah on that offensive line and guys that had played a ton. Markel Bell is going to be a longtime NFL player. James Brockermeyer played a lot of ball at TCU and then at Miami. So I do think there's just questions there. But yeah, they stack up with just about anybody in the country. And so when you talk about those elite units, I think it's Oregon. I look at Ohio State and Miami are probably the three that stand out to me in terms of proven offenses right now.
And Roddy, just in the ACC now, because cocky UM fans should be there. They lost, they lost in the national championship game, but we didn't expect Louisville to beat them. We didn't expect SMU to beat them last year. Right. What ACC team should the Canes fans worry about a little bit going into the season?
Channing, I'm going to pull up the schedule because I do think there's some ACC teams that are pretty good. This is a Miami team that does go to Clemson. And I know people are down on Clemson. I am not quite there yet because if you look at the preseason draft rankings, which like you can take those with some salt. I don't think it's a grain of salt because typically those are more right than wrong when it comes to the projection or when it comes to those guys and where they're going to be drafted come the NFL draft. But you look at the preseason draft projections in terms of draft eligible players. Clemson's got the best receiver in the ACC and Bryant Wesco. They've got the best draft eligible defensive end in the league in Will Helt. They've got the best draft eligible linebacker in the country in Sammy Brown. And they've got the best draft eligible corner in the league in Ashton Hampton. So it's a talented team and you're going on the road to Clemson. So there's questions at quarterback. There's questions on the offensive line. I get all the questions, but if Clemson puts it together, that certainly would be one that would stand out. Notre Dame's not in the ACC, but they go to Notre Dame. That would be a game that I would obviously circle. And then they play Virginia Tech on a Friday night. Those Friday nights have been weird. I mean, you think it's back to the Miami Virginia Tech game 2 years ago that ended on a Virginia Tech catch that then got overruled. And so Miami ended up winning the game. And then last year they lost to Louisville at home on a Friday night. Those Friday nights can be tricky. So those would be the three teams that I think are good enough to challenge Miami in the spots that I think Miami could overlook. The Florida State game always worries me a little bit just because of the rivalry, but I don't think Florida State should be able to compete with Miami, at least on paper. But Clemson and Virginia Tech, I would circle those two in terms of ACC teams as ones to look out for. And then you get to the championship game, and I think Louisville is going to be really good. They don't play Louisville in the regular season, but I do think Louisville is really good.
Yeah, Roddy, the way that I look at it, I fully expect the Canes to win the ACC. But if they don't, like if we play that game, I would say, I know they don't play them on their schedule, SMU, to me, I look at them as the second best team in the ACC.
Yeah, SMU is really good. And I think Louisville, SMU is sort of what flavor you like of ice cream because you can go either way because the questions for Louisville are on offense, the quarterback position specifically, the questions for SMU are on defense. They had one of the worst pass defenses in the country last year. And it was a defense that really took a step back under Scott Simons, who's now off to be the linebackers coach, the Dallas Cowboys, who had done a really good job. They got banged up and they've got a lot to replace on that defense this year. A lot of experience they're losing on the back end, particularly at safety with Ahmad Moses and Isaiah Wakobiat, both gone. So I personally lean Louisville because of Isaac Brown and Kewan Brown in the backfield. Isaac Brown averaged 8.8 yards a carry last year. That was for the entirety of the season. Now, he was hurt in games 7 or 8 last year, and so played sparingly down the stretch. But that offensive line or that run game is going to be really good for Louisville and super explosive. They added Trey Richardson, who was Vanderbilt's leading receiver last year. They added him as a deep play threat. He averaged 17.5 yards a catch last year. The question is Lincoln Kienholz. He comes over from Ohio State after battling with Julian Sayin. Jeff Brom is his fourth straight transfer quarterback, excuse me. The last 3 have all been experienced guys. Miller Moss had started games at USC. Tyler Shuck had played at Texas Tech and Oregon, and Jack Plummer had been the starter at Cal. Lincoln Kienholz hasn't done that, but he does bring an athletic dynamic that's a little bit different than those 3 guys that I just mentioned. Those were more pocket passers. Kienholz can really run it. He's every bit at 215, 220, and can move. So I think that element in that offense is going to make them really good. And then defensively, they're going to have one of the best defensive end groups in the conference with Kleb Lubin on one side, Tyler Thompson, who was top 10 in sacks at UNC last year, and TJ Green. So I think that Louisville team to me is slightly ahead of SMU, but I wouldn't argue either way.
Roddy, it's funny. I was going to ask this question, and you said there was 4 transfer quarterbacks at SMU. When they had Ward, the UM had Ward, then they got Beck. I was like, this isn't sustainable. You can't just go get these great quarterbacks year after year. Now they went and got Mensa. Is this a flash in the pan, or is this what college football is, right? Or is this what college football is going to be moving forward?
Chan, like when you got money, you can go out and get a quarterback. And because I know UM fans may get a little defensive about this, but like Darian Mensah wasn't in the portal. Darian Mensah got in the portal because Darian Mensah knew that there was a big paycheck on the other side from the University of Miami. And Miami pursued a couple of other guys who, because of either contracts or situations elsewhere, decided not to go. Ty Simpson obviously stayed in the NFL draft and was the first-round pick. He has publicly talked about, being quartered by Miami. Mason Heinschel got overtures from Miami. The guy at Pitt, Damon Williams, LSU and Miami, both were reaching out to him. But you ended up in a really good place with Darian Mensah. So I don't love the sustainability of it. But when you're a roster like Miami that's going to be solid everywhere, I think Mario Cristobal has banked on the fact that he doesn't want variance at the quarterback position. He wants to see a guy play at that level and succeed, and then go out and bring him in to plug into a group that's already excellent around him. I don't love the treadmill that you're on every single year, but if you think back, I mean, whiffs can happen in recruiting too. And a school like Texas has done a really nice job through recruiting, going from Quinn Ewers to Arch Manning to Diabell, who looks like he's going to be the next guy. But not everybody recruits at that level.
The Florida State side of it, Roddy, right?
Yeah.
Where 1 year they were outside of, if they didn't get hurt, they would have been in the college football playoff. And then the next year, people thought they were going to be this great team. And I say the transfer portal, it's like roulette. Yeah, there's sometimes you're going to get the numbers. Then there's other times you're going to have a lot of money. You're going to go in, and then you're going to give all the money to the casino.
Well, and Florida State's doing it without the money that Miami has, and that's
Fair.
the big difference. They're shopping in different bins at the supermarket. Miami
at the high roller table.
Exactly. Yes, to use your casino analogy, they're not at the high roller table. Miami has the money to go out and get people, and that'll always land them a pretty good prospect and out of the portal.
Roddy Jones here with us. I look at Mensah. I love him. We know what he did at Tulane. Then he goes to the ACC last year. The ACC wasn't great. Miami still made the playoff, but he did win an ACC championship at Duke. I look at this kid, and I see Mensah as maybe a Heisman Trophy winner this year, maybe a national champion. And I think at the next level, he could be a top 10 pick. How about yourself?
Yeah, I think so too. I think the skill set's there. Certainly the accuracy and the decision-making. He's an intelligent young man. He's the type of guy you would want to represent both a school and an organization at the NFL level. And I think that some of there were some ups and downs last year at Duke. You look at the Tulane game, didn't play particularly well. Some of that was probably the emotions of Tulane. They didn't play particularly well at UConn. And so you got to smooth out some of those ups and downs, but the guy threw for 3,900 yards last year. He's won championships at the last 2 places he's been. Tulane won the American, obviously Duke last year won the ACC. I just really like his demeanor. And he was a guy that was recruited by very lightly. Tulane brings him in. He ends up emerging there, and now he finds himself as one of the top quarterbacks in the country. I certainly think if Miami has the year that they expect to, Darian Mensah will have a Heisman Trophy caliber season. Will he win it? I don't know. You need the moments. You need to capture the imaginations of the public. But I think he'll have the numbers.
He got some dogs out there, though, Roddy.
He does, and that's the
Arch Manning. But no, I'm talking about the quarterbacks he's going against with Arch.
Oh, yeah.
Dante Moore, saying up in Ohio State. Is he on that level of those guys that we kind of know their name? He was at Duke. I didn't watch many Duke games. I watched those other guys.
Name-wise, no. I mean, CJ Carr, we know. You mentioned Arch Manning and Dante Moore, Josh Hoover, who's going to Indiana. Like, that's a guy that people know, and they're the reigning national champions. So he's going to have some work to do. And I think you look at those early games, Friday night at Stanford, if he puts up numbers there, people are going to take notes because people are going to watch that game. Standalone game, there's nothing else on. People are going to watch that game, and that's when they'll start to get to know. And then they're kind of going to go into the darkness for a little bit, although they've got a Friday night at Wake Forest, another standalone opportunity. But Wake's not the brand name that's going to garner the attention. That game at Clemson on October 3rd is the big one. Then you get a bye week. Then Florida State. That's a game that obviously people are going to watch. And then at Notre Dame is going to be the big one to really propel him into that conversation, because you need the moments And Fernando Mendoza had one against a bad Penn State team, but it didn't matter that they were bad because it was Penn State.
The Penn State throw. That's all you hear.
And it really should be the Omar Cooper catch.
The catch was phenomenal.
Like the throw is fine in that it got there, but I mean, if Omar Cooper is a mortal in that moment, then it's probably an incomplete pass, and it may be a completely different story.
I probably would only admit this on this show because this is the show. I get my back waxed once a year. It was Penn State, Indiana. And I'm watching that game when the touchdown was thrown. And I'm like, oh my goodness gracious. What a throw, what a catch.
There's a lot to dig into there, Zach.
Yeah.
The fact that you'd admit it only on this show makes me ask questions about this show. The fact you'd admit it all makes me wonder
I'm a man very comfortable in my skin, Roddy Jones.
Apparently not that comfortable because this is the only show that you're admitting
it. And you're waxing your back. Which,
yeah. Hey, it's a guilty pleasure of mine once a year.
No judgment here. Chan may judge, but no judgment.
Yeah, you should have seen what Channing did before the show. He had a towel wrapped around his head. He looked like my girlfriend, for crying out loud, when she gets out of the shower.
I had to drop my hair.
You got to protect the hair, man. Come on, you got the dreads. You got to keep them nice.
Roddy, going back to Mario really quick. I don't know how, but I guess I'll try. Going back to Mario really quickly. Has he kind of
waxes his back too, I heard, by the way, Mario Cristobal.
Has he shaken those demons of not being being a great recruiter but not an elite X's and O's head coach? Because always the big knock on him at Oregon was he couldn't win the big game. Then he comes to Miami, struggles a little bit out the gate. He has that massive blunder against Georgia Tech. He's got to hire like a game manager coach to be next to him on the sidelines. But just getting to the national championship game, going through Ohio State, going on the road and beating Texas A&M, beating Ole Miss, does he kind of now belong in that conversation of some of the best head coaches in college football?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Over the course of your career, you're going to have some blunders. Everybody has them. Mario's were just more prominent and more embarrassing than others. And like the people made a big deal of the game management coach. There's a lot of coaches that have that when you're, you have a minute 20 on the clock and 2 timeouts and you're on defense. Should I call a timeout after second down, or should we let the clock run third? There's people that say that. They have got charts and, hey, go for it on 4th down here. Like, people have those coaches all across the country. So I didn't think that was a big deal. I thought it was actually good to help have someone who has the perspective outside of just your gut feeling. But the path that they took last year, beating Notre Dame at the beginning of the season, looking the way they did for the vast majority of the season, getting better and playing their best ball when they needed to, and then going on the road at A&M, taking down Ohio State and Ole Miss, and being within a couple of 4th down stops of winning a national championship. Yeah, all that other stuff is gone. And now it's about, can Mario Cristobal take the 2 steps this program hasn't done in a while? 1, win the league. Still haven't done that. But 2, win a national championship, because that's the logical progression for this team.
I know that you'll like this point that I'm about to bring up, because I know all we do is we talk about quarterbacks and we talk about coaches. There's other players on the team. When we look at the transfer portal inside the ACC, I love the Yellow Jackets pickup of Justice Haynes. Last year, 7 games, had 857 rushing yards and 10 rushing touchdowns. Then they keep it local here with the U. Cooper Barcade, who was over 1,100-yard wide receiver. Now he has Fletcher and Tony and Mensah once again throwing him the football. A lot of weapons there. I think those 2 guys, Haynes at Georgia Tech and then Barcade at Miami, are going to have monster years.
Monster years. The interesting dynamic is going to be who ends up being the go-to guy for Miami at the receiver position, because Cooper Barcade was that for Darian Mensah at Duke, but now you've got Malachi Tony, who's going to need, over the course of the season, 100, 110 touches. So that dynamic is going to be really interesting, not in a bad way. It's just going to be interesting to see how that develops, because I really think a lot of Cooper Barcade and what he was able to do both at Harvard and at Duke. And you mentioned Justice Haynes. There's been a lot of talk about Alberto Mendoza this year at Georgia Tech, but that Georgia Tech running back room, I think outside of Louisville and maybe Miami, although Miami I feel like is a little top heavy at running back with Mark Fletcher and then unproven backup wise, although Marty Brown has been good in spots, Jordan Lyle, Gerard Pringle, like those guys have been good in spots. But Malachi Hosley and Justice Haynes at Georgia Tech, both of them averaged over 7 yards a carry last year. Like, that is one of the best running back groups in the ACC, if not the country. And if that offensive line at Georgia Tech can be what it was last year, I think the Jackets have a chance to make some noise in the league because they're going to be able to run the ball. They're going to be able to control the clock. They're going more pro style after George Godsey comes over as the offensive coordinator from the Baltimore Ravens. So my guess is that you're going to see more big personnel sets. You're going to see more under center play action off of it, moving Alberto Mendoza. And if they can run the ball well, I think this is a team that could be really good offensively.
He's Roddy Jones. He joins us on the Toyota of Hollywood hotline. Shop over 2,000 Toyotas on sale at one location. Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan. ToyotaofHollywood.com. Roddy Jones does a great job for the ACC Network, ESPN, and SiriusXM. Roddy, a pleasure to get you back on. We appreciate the time.
Yeah, appreciate it, boys. Always great to catch up.
There you go. Roddy Jones joining us right there on Hochman, Crowder, and Solana. We'll take a break. When we come on back, coming up at 3 p.m., we have the Klay Thompson Miami Heat introductory press conference. Coming on back after this.
You're listening to the Hawk, Crowder, and Solana Show.
Guys, we are Miami. We are the U. That's gotta mean everything.
welcome back in. It is Hochman, Crowder, and Solana right here on this Tuesday. We will have the Clay Thompson introductory press conference coming up in a few moments. As it is scheduled, and Solana is not one of those LeBron scheduled press conferences by the Miami Heat media team. This is going to be reality today, and it will come up momentarily. We'll carry it live right here on 104.3 FM, WQAM.
Had to get your little shot in there, didn't you?
Well, I was being a professional because this echo is back. And I'm trying to talk, and I had to make some pun, but here we are with this echo being back. Now the echo is away. So I was just trying to be a professional broadcaster and just continue to do it and hope someone would realize to get the echo away. But now the echo is away, so we're good on that front.
We need Jimmy back. My man Solana.
What did the cat catch your tongue there, Solana?
He's so silly.
For people that don't know what we're talking about, if you're listening to us just on 104.3 FM WQAM on the YouTube stream, there is a massive echo. It was there. Now it's no longer there. So when I'm speaking, it was going right back into my ears.
Somebody texted. I don't usually read the text, but I see it. Zach be hating, bro. Yeah. You haven't listened to Gelby too much if you don't know it.
No, but that's bullcrap. You guys are just sensitive. Like, I literally said the Miami Hurricanes should be national champions this year. The Florida Panthers are the best organization in sports. And because I called the Heat a top 3 team in the Eastern Conference, third, not second or one, and then push back a little bit on Bam, just saying he's not an all-time great player. He's an all-time great Heat, but not an all-time great player in the history of the NBA. Now I'm a hater? Like, what? Now I tell you that the Marlins can't win a game to save their lives? That makes me a hater as well? Like, come on, I'm just telling you how it is. I do it with my teams as well.
It's the delivery. You know, you could say, hey, Dan, did you stop working out? That's what I would say. Or you would say, hey, Dan, you're getting fat. It's the delivery.
How is Dan Day getting fat? The guy's emaciated.
I was using him as an example. Dan could hula hoop with a Cheerio.
Now I'm catching bullets. Wait a second. Come on, guys.
Now I'm catching bullets. Whoa. They said I look like a Cheerio.
In 2 sentences, I got your fat and your hula hooping with a Cheerio.
So we're getting set for the Clay Thompson introductory press conference. We'll send you out to the Kaseya Center where we do have it. You can listen to it live right here on 104.3 FM WQAM. I interviewed Clay Thompson once. It was after a game in Philadelphia when I was covering the Sixers. And the reason why I love talking to him, he's just so chill. He's so calm. He's like the antithesis of what I am. It's like he's always on an edible, it feels like, when you're listening to Clay Thompson speak. And he was eating a slice of pepperoni pizza after already eating a cheesesteak because you were in Philly. So he had a cheesesteak and then a slice of pepperoni pizza. And the fact that he was doing his press conference while chowing down on a pepperoni pizza, I always had great respect for Clay Thompson.
Yeah, Clay's a cool guy. Everything I see about him. And you see that, Gelby, you appreciate people eating while doing an interview. I get pure hell when I bring on, a couple bags of chips, maybe some Alfredo. I'll eat, eat some Alfredo on there. It doesn't matter.
Like, here's the thing. We're all men at the end of the day. And what do they tell us when you do this job? Like, if I was sitting down to interview the president of the United States, I wouldn't have rigatoni alla vodka. But if we're doing a sports talk radio show and they say it's all about like a bunch of buddies at a bar having a good time and just talking some sports, when I talk sports, yeah, I get chicken wings. When I talk sports, I get some pizza or whatever. We just make it fun that way.
Look what I have to deal with when I'm working. My son bringing fish into the office.
Did he catch it?
He just caught it. That's a huge bluegill.
Oh, my God. That is one huge SOB. Hey, the Crowders are actually eating tonight.
Yes.
Usually Channing starves those kids, I hear. Now they caught something, so now they could eat.
Gelby, our dinner goes off of the stock market.
Oh.
Green days, we eat good. Red days, we don't eat as well.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would like to be living on the Crowder meal plan. I would be fine to be – how many kids you have? 3?
3, yeah.
Yeah, I'd be fine being the 4th Crowder, like the 4th Crowder child. I'd be good with that. I think you get hooked up a lot in life.
Fine, Zach. Going back to your parents. I don't have room
Crowder's like, holy smokes, do you know how many more vegetables and groceries you have to get and fat
Mr. 305.
All that.
Dale.
God bless. Dale.
Dale. Thank you, Solana.
You still say thank you, Jimmy Gelb. I mean, learn the
thank
damn
you,
show
Jimmy.
already. What is this, 8 times, 9 times you worked on this show? Learn the damn show already.
Well,
You're
yeah,
welcome, by the way.
I've never worked without the backbone of this show in Jimmy, and we see what happens when Jimmy isn't here. First off, you don't say you're welcome when someone says thank you, and I get an echo every segment.
Yeah.
You want to say you're welcome or no?
I did say you're welcome. You want to read the liner here, Gelby?
Yeah, I was waiting for you to say you're welcome, and then I
All
read
right,
the liner.
perfect. Okay,
It's
great.
the 305 alarm, and it's sponsored by Miami Lake Chevrolet, where you walk in as a customer and drive out as one big happy family, just like Solana and myself.
It always gets chippy. I'm uncomfortable. I'm a pleasant guy.
Uncomfortable conversations. Isn't there a podcast with Emmanuel Hacho that has that?
Funny thing, I have a podcast and don't watch podcasts. It's just weird.
Yeah, you pivot away from all those other podcasts when you do have the pivot with Channing Crowder, Fred Taylor, and Ryan Clark.
Appreciate the shout out.
Yeah, so we're waiting on this Klay Thompson press conference. Let's get to some headlines with Alejandro Solana, and then we'll get you the press conference the moment we have it. If we got to cut it short, we will do so.
Headlines are brought to you by Doral Hyundai in Miami. We go to the beach for a little solcito, and then when we want a low price, you save with your Pricito. Save now with your Pricito at Doral Hyundai. What do you guys think is going to happen on Friday? Does Tua start? Does Michael Penix start? We learned yesterday they're going to split first-team reps throughout practice this week.
I'm going to say Tua. I don't think he's going to start. I think Michael Penix Jr. is winning this job. Tua's been that bad. I heard Ian Rappaport talk about him this morning. He's like, ideally, they wanted Tua to start, and then when Penix was fully healthy, for him to come along and usurp him at some point in the season. But with how bad Tua's looked in the first preseason game and then also in training camp, I think that you're going to see Michael Penix Jr. start in week 1. Tua's career, it's cooked.
I agree with you, Gelby, but you said something interesting where Michael Penix, he's going to start, but he just came back. They didn't say 100%. They said clear to practice. He's going to have on a do not contact jersey. Nobody's going to touch him. Now
Sure.
I'm going to throw him out there against the Dolphins where somebody could roll up on the back of his bad knee or his surgically repaired knee. I just don't see why. And if you plan on him starting, why don't you throw Tua in the game? Let him play. He's at his old stadium. Let him have a good time.
Yeah, I think the only rebuttal, because I would just agree with him, like, why play Michael Penix Jr.? Like, why do it? Why even put him out there if he's going to be your starting quarterback with this injury history going back to Indiana and Washington? I would imagine the answer is going to be because it's a new team. I know he's been on the Falcons last years, but a new coaching staff coming on in with Kevin Stefanski, I guess would be the answer.
And I'm cool with Stefanski. We were in Atlanta a couple weeks ago. He's that just practice, just play. He's not old school time management. He's one of them new school time management. He's an old school go play football if you're a football player type guy.
He's a 2-time Coach of the Year award winner. He won 2-time Coach of the Year awards in Cleveland, of all places. And I know he had COVID, so he wasn't technically on the sideline, but his Browns team did defeat the Steelers in the postseason. I thought he did a really good job in Cleveland, but because of all the Shador stuff at the end and not really getting a quarterback, and I guess him and Baker not being on good terms, even though the front office didn't want Baker anymore, and they go out and they bring in Deshaun Watson. At the end of it in Cleveland, it was as if he was a villain. I thought he did a really damn good job in Cleveland considering the circumstances.
The Falcons were one of the only teams we saw fully tackle to the ground during our day, the day we visited.
Yeah, it seems like it was Tua's job to lose, and then Tua never really separated himself, and he just kept on regressing, and now Penix is available to participate in practice, so now there's a real opportunity for him to go win it. I'll tell you, though, I look around the league. If you would have told me before the year started, like before training camp started, the Dolphins had the worst quarterback room, I probably would agree. I don't like that Falcons quarterback room because I don't believe in Michael Penix Jr. I don't believe in Tua. That Cleveland Browns quarterback room is an absolute joke. Shador's not going to be a starter. Maybe he'll start by week 7 or week 8, but the league doesn't think highly of him. Deshaun Watson, who's one of the biggest creeps on the planet. But when he pulled those antics, like, oh, it's disrespectful, the fans booing me and all that stuff, and I don't regret anything in life. Like, dude, I would have a lot of regrets in life and with what you got away with. and then also the guaranteed contract that you got, $230 million guaranteed, and you've done nothing and you're just stealing money. That quarterback room is an absolute disaster. Then in typical Cleveland Browns fashion, they announced him as the starting quarterback a day or two after trashing the fan base. And the quarterback room in Arizona with Jacoby Brissett, and I know we love him here in Carson Beck, but geez, like at least there's somewhat of an unknown with Malik Willis, which I'm not saying I'm excited. I believe that he's going to be a stud. But I do believe that the Dolphins, it's not as if they have the greatest quarterback room, but I don't think they have the worst quarterback room in the league.
That's the question with Malik Willis. How good is he going to be? Because just talent-wise, it's almost like, can I compare him to Jacoby Brissett? Can you really compare him to and Deshaun Watson is old. I'm not doing him, but
yeah, but I've seen all those guys. Like I've seen enough to know that Michael Penix Jr. is not going to cut in the NFL. I've seen enough to know that Jacoby Brissett's not a legit starter in the NFL. Deshaun Watson is so washed up. Like at least with Malik Willis, I just haven't seen it really.
Okay, I got you. So you believe in the potential of Malik, because that's what I'm telling people.
Well, like I don't believe in the potential, but I'm not able to say he can't do it. Like those other guys, Jacoby Brissett is a nice spot starter here or there if he needs to go for 4 or 5 games. Michael Penix Jr., I thought coming out of college, I always had an issue. It was the middle throws down the sideline, and he also has an abundance of injuries. And you look at Cleveland, Deshaun may be the worst quarterback in the league. Like, that's how bad he is. And the only one that defends him is that dopey QB coach in Quincy Avery. That's the only guy that still defends him. So, yeah, I think those 3 quarterbacks are worse than Malik Willis right now entering the season.
We treat Malik Willis like a rookie.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Let's see what he got.
Yeah.
He's been in the league for what, 6 years?
Malik, no. I think it's only 3 or 4.
No, it was
fourth. His 4th season.
Yeah, because he was in Tennessee.
And then Green Bay.
Yeah, but I was at the draft. I think it was 2022 when he got drafted. All righty. Anyway, I know we want to squeeze in a break because we got to get to this Klay Thompson press conference. The Heat are running a little bit late. We'll carry it live here on 104.3 FM WQAM. Solana, I know you got to squeeze in some weather as well.
Yep. By the way, Marlins who play tonight, FM 104.3 WQAM. Listen to it following this show. Your weather, it's hot. That's brought to you by Tornado Roofing and Contracting. Hurricane season is here. Make sure your roof and windows are ready. Call 954-968-8155 for a free estimate.
All righty, we'll take a timeout. We'll get to the Klay Thompson press conference when we come on back right here. Hochman, Crowder, and Solana. Gelbin for Hawk on 104.3 FM WQAM.
You're listening to the Hawk, Crowder,
All right, it is Hochman, Crowder, and Solana. Gelbin for Hawk on a Tuesday. We will hopefully momentarily head you out to the Kaseya Center and listen on in to Klay Thompson being introduced as the latest member of the Miami Heat to kind of put a bow on what has been a fantastic offseason by Pat Riley and the Miami Heat, landing Giannis Antetokounmpo, landing Bobby Portis, also going on out there and bringing in Tim Hardaway Jr., and then the bow was put on top of the present, or the cherry was put on top of the sundae by getting some shooting help to this team by going on out there and last week acquiring Klay Thompson. And Klay wanted to be here in Miami once he did clear waivers with the Dallas Mavericks, and he got that wish, signing with the Miami Heat. And the Heat were obviously interested in him. Those rumors were happening for the last several weeks, and we're going to see how much gas he has left in the tank, because it's going to be someone. I said it the other week. I'll say it again. I don't have the expectations of him being Ray Allen, but that's the type of role that he's going to serve on this team. You just wonder, with all the injuries that he suffered in his career, and you give him a lesser role. We'll see if they ask him if he's going to start or not, or how that gets tackled today. I'm assuming Pat Riley's going to be there. I don't know if Eric Spoelstra is going to be in attendance. I would imagine he would be so. Curious a little bit to hear more about the role of Klay Thompson, because if you just have him come off the bench, I think that will be better for the Heat in this game, that it isn't a sprint, it is a marathon of a season.
And you talking about you don't see him being a Ray Allen, Boston Ray Allen, or Heat Ray Allen?
Well, like, I had a higher opinion of Ray Allen at the stage of his career when he came over from the Celtics to the Heat. Like, for Klay, I think there is a little bit more of a mystery of what he has left in the tank. But then also, like last year, because of the Mavericks situation and where the Mavericks were as an organization, like Solana eloquently said last week, it's tough to know what he is. But is he a splash brother still? No. Can he still be a guy that could come off the bench and give you, 15 points? And can he go hit 5 3-pointers a game? Or could there be a playoff series where he's not going to be the reason why you win all 4 games? That's going to be Giannis. That's going to be Bam. But can he be a guy that wins you a game 2 because he pops off and shows you vintage Klay for 24 where he gets really hot? Yeah, I absolutely still think he could be that player.
Yeah, and his stuff with Dallas last year, with what they were doing, what was going on, would I play as hard as I can as an older player? I don't know, Gil.
Probably not.
But I looked at it. I'm like, is Klay falling off? Because there were some people being like, oh, we should have got this guy, that guy. Klay shot 38% last year from 3. And that was a down year for him.
And he does 38%? That here. That's all you need. Like that's all you need.
He doesn't have to play crazy defense. He got the big front court behind him. Like, play around on the 3-point line with the defense and then run down and stand in the corner. We got action.
So, Solana, I know you're all locked in waiting to get the press conference feed, because Solana's laser focus, and I'm just seeing him right now saying, okay, like, let's go, Klay. Get your ass to the podium. Get your ass to the podium. Because this is supposed to start at 3, and now it's 3:22. But these things are always late, and Klay's
all right.
A star,
Go ahead,
so he's late.
Yeah, distract me a little bit, so then we start late, then you rip me for it anyway.
No,
so
I won't rip you.
Yeah.
I actually have a question, because I value your Heat insight.
Okay.
Where we left off at the end of last week to where we are now, like when we found out about this Friday to where we are now, what do you think the role of Klay Thompson's going to be on this team? Because we were talking about him potentially starting, and I made the case, like, I'd probably rather start Tim Hardaway Jr. and have Klay come off the bench just to kind of save him for some unnecessary minutes maybe in the regular season.
Yeah, and look, I don't think you're wrong in just assuming that Tim Hardaway Jr. might be in, I don't know about shape, but just be in better form right now to start for this team. The only thing, though, Gelb, is that Tim Hardaway Jr. last year was in the running for 6th man of the year.
He didn't. So he came off the bench, yeah.
So it almost feels like he had his best year last year and almost won that award. It almost feels like he's perfectly suited for that award. And I think part of Klay Thompson wanting to come to Miami, taking significantly less money to come to Miami, was likely conversations behind the scenes about a starting opportunity here alongside Giannis Antetokounmpo and Bam Adebayo. I don't think even if he starts, he has to play 32 minutes. I don't think he has to play 30 minutes a game. To me, Klay Thompson playing off of Giannis as a spacer is going to be enough to get him the open looks throughout the game, and then he can close out games if he's shooting the ball very well, which I expect he will be.
And just a programming note, by the way, we will have the Klay Thompson press conference when he does get out to the podium right here on 104.3 FM WQAM. The programming note, though, is that we will have Klay's father, Michael Thompson, who was a great player in the NBA. He's going to join us on Friday's show. So we'll get a little maybe insight of Klay's decision to come here and what maybe Pops knew, because we did so well with the last father that we brought on the show, and Tim Hardaway Sr., when he lied to us and he said that he was not that number wasn't coming down from the rafters. And then I guess Mom stepped in and said, you know what? Maybe it's good for the family to go give the number to our son, Tim Jr. Like, you know, the other thing I never got about that? You gave him your name, but you wouldn't give him your number. Like, I wish I would have realized that in the moment. He's Tim Hardaway Jr. You're Tim Hardaway Sr. But when it gets to your number in the rafters, that's where you draw the line in the sand training.
Because Tim Hardaway Sr. earned the numbers in the rafters, and Tim Hardaway Jr. didn't. That was his explanation, not mine. But then,
you know what I think it was?
None of y'all are married. See, that's the thing you don't understand. None of y'all are married. His wife said, "Hey, stop that dumb stuff. Give the boy the number." That was the extent of the conversation.
We need Tim Hardaway Jr. this year to win the Sixth Man of the Year and the Heat to win a championship, because we would all be in the documentary. Like that clip that went mega viral, we would all be in the documentary that we got Tim Hardaway Sr. to basically start to dig himself in such a hole that his wife said, no, we are not doing this as a family. Because remember, at one point, like, he talked down to me. He goes, well, what are you, like my kids? I tell you 1,000 times and you just don't listen. And I was just trying to really make the push, because I want everyone to be one big happy family. And I thought it'd be a nice family thing to have his son wear that number. And eventually he did say, yeah, that Zach Gelb guy was right. It had nothing to do with his wife. I think it was all about me.
You supersede his wife?
Yeah.
The weird thing, though, was that he could not have been clear multiple times. Crowder tried to goad him into it. You did. I did. All three of us gave it a crack.
Times.
Right. All three of us gave it a crack. Like, what would it take? Is there anything he could give you? Is there whatever? And he was clear as day. It's not happening. And then 24 hours later, Jason Jackson's tweeting out, yeah, Tim Hardaway Jr. is going to wear number 10. Like, what? What? Like, that's all it took? That's all it took, 24 hours, Crowder, for his wife to get under him and tell him, no. That's it, bro.
No, it was announced 24 hours. It took 24 seconds.
Yeah. Well, because she said, you won't get 24 seconds with me again if you don't do this. Let's be real.
Tim, you acting dumb. Get that boy that number. Probably less than that. How long did that take? 3 seconds? Get that boy that number. Okay, yeah, you're right.
I think there was one point in the interview where I said to him, the last crack I took at it where he went off was, what happens if Tim Hardaway Jr. sells 100,000 copies of your book, Tim Hardaway Sr.? Then would you let him? He goes, no.
I got his book. I haven't started reading it, but I got his book. I'm going to start reading it sometime this week.
You didn't buy it.
I got it shipped to me.
Yeah. They were like, oh, please come on the pivot. Like we want him on the pivot. You know, here's the book. You read the book, and then you bring him on the pivot.
I know people that know people.
We do have an update from Anthony Chang of the Miami Herald. He covers the Heat. Klay Thompson, he writes, is apparently stuck in traffic.
Oh, boy.
But presser is expected to start soon. Is a very welcome to Miami moment. As welcome to Miami as it gets. Yeah, Biscayne Boulevard coming from 95. Good luck, Klay. You probably should have been here 3 hours ago.
So I've had some miserable times driving in Miami. I had no traffic this past weekend. None whatsoever. Yeah, I got from Miami to Boca in like 55 minutes. Cruising. Just absolutely cruising.
Oh,
even getting out of the airport on when I landed on Saturday. Maybe it was because it's a weekend that has to do with it.
Yeah.
But even Monday, going to the airport, I had like a 3:10 flight. I was going to Palm Beach, which is now named after Trump. I guess that's his airport now. I got to the airport from Boca in 35 minutes. No traffic whatsoever. It's great.
Yeah. The times you travel is big. 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. and then about 4 to 7.
Yeah, there was one time I left my grandma's at 5:30 trying to go to Joe's at 7, and I just sat in traffic.
Yeah.
Sat in traffic one year.
You might as well have sat in the parking lot at Walmart. Just waited until about 9:30 and head down.
No, I had to get my fried chicken. By the way, I left one thing that I regret. my buddy who I've been going to Joe's with forever sat me down when we got to the restaurant. He goes, "You forgot one thing." So I gave the fried chicken, the coconut shrimp, the grilled tomatoes and cheese, the hash brown, the lobster mac and cheese, the key lime pie. I think there's a s'mores pie, peanut butter pie. Like I gave all that. There's an off-menu item that we've got the last 2 times. They just give you a hunk of tenderloin with some cheese on it. You mix that into the meal. Delicious.
Wow.
That's the one addendum I need to add into my Joe's order.
Yeah, I thought I had some connections down here. I don't get off of menu items.
You got to know.
Man.
You know, if you know, you know. And then I went to the Faina Hotel on Sunday. Oh, their brunch. You walk in, they got all the breakfast meats getting cooked, all the vegetables and all that stuff. I sat down. Their crispy potatoes that I had, and I get it. Like, you know, you're going there for breakfast. That shouldn't be the highlight. Those crispy potatoes were some of the best I've ever had. They were delicious.
Nah, Faina does it right, bro.
They're good.
Was that like you pay a flat rate and then it's like a buffet?
No, so we just walked in. We were looking for a spot for lunch or for brunch, and we just walked into, you know, my girlfriend, she knows all the spots, and she was just like, "Oh, like, let's go spend your money here." And I was like, "Great." And sat down. It was a beautiful little brunch that we had.
Was it a buffet though?
No, there was no buffet. We had.
You had to order. It was a la carte ordering.
No, there were I think other tables did that since like we had like a big dinner party that night. We didn't want to eat like fat pigs, so we just had we had an acai bowl, and then we had bacon, we had some eggs, and there was chorizo, and then we had those breakfast potatoes. Very good though, very good. Oh,
acai bowl. You make fun of me because I'm juicing.
I don't make fun of you.
Yeah, no, I'm saying Solana didn't make fun of me because I juice. You're eating acai bowl.
Well, after I ate the entire restaurant at Joe's Stone Crab on Saturday night, I didn't need them to pick me up at the airport on a forklift and then put my fat ass in the plane. Like I had to mix in some healthiness.
Plus, acai bowl, Crowder. That's fire, man.
What is it? It's a berry that they mush up, make it cold. I don't get it.
Superfood. It's superfood, man.
You superfood my nothing.
By the way, I saw that you guys had Jonathan Taylor on the pivot. Is that right?
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor once settled a debate for me, and he basically enlightened me on this. I'm a huge blue cheese over ranch guy for wings. Mm-hmm. Huge. Like, not debatable to me. If you bring out wings to me with ranch and I don't send much back, I'm sending back the ranch, and I go, you bring me blue cheese. Jonathan Taylor once said to me, because he's a big blue cheese guy, but he's an East Coast guy. He goes, East Coast guys are blue cheese guys. He goes, once you get down south, once you get into like the country, he goes to me, they all love ranch. And now when I do this with draft prospects, because that's a character flaw of mine, when I do these pre-draft interviews with these guys that are trying to have a successful career, I end them, I go, it's a big character concern for me. This will either improve your draft stock or I'll tank it. Ranch or blue cheese. Anyone that's really Southern, they go with ranch. Me, blue cheese guy. East Coast guys, blue cheese guys. Dan Day, you're where are you from, Dan Day? Are you from South Florida?
I'm from New Orleans, man.
Oh.
So
and you love blue cheese over ranch.
Oh, blue cheese over ranch every day of the week.
No. Hey, 2 seconds. Somebody just banged on my door.
Dan Day's an anomaly. It's another one of your kids running in with another fish. That's
but I will say a lot of my friends and family, they in the deep south, they choose ranch over blue cheese. So maybe I'm just a little weird. That's a little bit. I'm blue cheese. I'm like you, Zach. I don't send anything back, but if there is no blue cheese, I need it.
Solana, how do you go with your wings?
You're going to hate me because if I had to choose between ranch or blue cheese, I would go blue cheese.
But you don't dip them in anything.
I don't dip them in anything.
Oh, that's fine.
No, I would rather dip them in hot sauce, honestly, like
extra hot sauce.
Extra hot sauce than ranch or blue cheese. But typically, I don't dip my wings in anything.
But you don't need the variety. Like I like to eat like wings without, blue cheese. I like 3 of them, but then on the 4th, I like, I need a little bit of a, like lubricant, and I just, eat that.
Oh, I smother the wing in blue cheese.
Yeah.
The Scene Press Conference, by the way, I think they're starting soon. Just letting you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
But go ahead, Crowder.
Blue cheese is a little sadiddy, to be honest. I love it.
You said it's a little what?
Sadiddy, like, Little
I thought you
Diddy,
said it's
yeah.
a little ditty, and I'm like, I don't want those allegations. No, thank you.
I'm from the country. You know, I got a hunting club and all, hang out with some very country people. Like blue cheese, what is that? Moldy cheese? Like it's kind of like, you know, it's kind of like a upper little thing. Like ranch is just ranch. Everybody eats ranch.
Yeah, no, not on my wings. Not on my watch. There's just something to me about the summer too. Like I love wings in the summer. Wings and blue cheese just in the summer. I don't know why. Like, can I eat wings all year round? Sure. Like for football Sundays and college football Saturdays, are they excellent? Yes. There's just something on like a July night in the summer, just going and getting like 10 or 12 wings and just dunking those suckers in blue cheese with like a nice ice cold beer. I had a Funky Buddha the other night.
Oh, yeah. Funky Buddha's good. They have good wings. Did you try their wings?
No, I wasn't there.
Okay.
I did once. I was once at Funky Buddha with Dan Day when Dan was emceeing a trivia night, and a lovely couple, as Hawk and I were sitting there watching the whole ordeal go down, a lovely couple got engaged. It was wild. I love
beautiful.
Funky Buddha. I do not know if I would get engaged at Funky Buddha, though.
And not me doing it either. Like,
No. It was so funny, like, because I remember seeing you, Dan, there, and you walked over to us and you go, this couple's about to get engaged. Like, we got the heads up. And then Dan is on the microphone, not making the moment about him, but eventually you have to reel everyone back in to get back to the trivia. He was like, how about that? True love, everybody. It's awesome. And it was a great job by Dan Day that night. He did a great job.
No, Dan's good at emceeing now. I've been to a
Yeah.
bunch of his events. Yeah.
that was a historic night. The place was packed. There wasn't an open seat. We had to, you and Hawk, we had to push you at the corner of the bar. This woman comes up and I'm like, I can't read your answer. I can't read your answer. And it said, will you marry me? And she looks up at me and I was like, no, behind you, not me.
Oh, she thought that you were the one proposing?
No, she just kind of looked up and then looked back. But she was confused.
All right, Klay Thompson's out of traffic. Here he is walking up to the podium with Eric Spoelstra. Let's send you out to the Kaseya Center as Klay Thompson is the newest member of the Miami Heat.
We may want to wait a second because they're debuting
The jersey?
the jersey. They're
The
probably
number
not
11
gonna-
jersey.
Number 11.
Well, it's actually good that they didn't make Tim Hardaway wear number 11, right? Wasn't he probably going to go 11?
I think
and now
he was,
you get
yeah.
it for Klay Thompson. So,
Yeah.
they're at the podium right now. Beautiful white Heat jersey with the red Heat lettering. You have Spo and Klay Thompson posing for a photo. Klay is in a very nice white button-down shirt. They are now picking up the podium from the floor to put it on the stage. This is a high-budget operation. You got guys in black T-shirts, put in two chairs that look like they would be at WQAM down, and you'll have Eric Spoelstra and Klay Thompson at the podium. Let's send it out to the Kaseya Center.
You're up.
There he is. That is Klay Thompson from the Kaseya Center as he's introduced as the latest member of the Miami Heat. It is Hochman, Crowder, and Solana. Gelbin for Hawk. We got to take a long break right now. Got to pay some bills after airing the press conference here live on 104.3 FM WQAM. When we return, we'll get Solana's reaction, my reaction, and Crowder's reaction to the press conference that was Klay Thompson now being the latest member introduced as a Miami Heat. And Brendan Tobin also going to join us some point in the 4 p.m. hour as well. He was at the press conference at the Kaseya Center. So it's Hochman, Crowder, and Solana. We're going to take a long break, and we will be back to react about the Klay Thompson press conference.
You're listening to the Hawk, Crowder, and Solana Show.
My prostate's the size of a bagel.
Alrighty, welcome back in. It is Hochman, Crowder, and Solana. Gelbin for Hawk. Appreciate you staying with us during that long commercial break as we had to squeeze some extra reads in as we were carrying the live Klay Thompson press conference at the Kaseya Center. Whole lot to get to from that press conference. We will have Brendan Tobin stopping by, who was at the presser, in about 15, 20 minutes from now. You can listen to Tobes, obviously, middays right here with Tobin and Leroy. But first, let's squeeze in quickly a little stock market report. We got to get to some headlines and some weather with Solana. Solana, your microphone's muted.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Our stock market report is sponsored by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. What do you think, Crowder? Are you eating good today, or are you?
I hope it's a good old spiny lobster day.
I don't think it matters because I saw your son bring in a fish that was the size of him. So I think everyone's eating fine in the Crowder house.
I just like the idea. I like the idea of the stock market diet. When things are good, you're good. When things are bad, you're down. Peanut butter and jelly.
Not healthy. That's not healthy. That's a no from me, dog.
Mixed day.
Mixed day on Wall Street. So
I got to look at my app. Man.
Yeah, you're eating all right, but you're not. your S&P and Nasdaq did finish higher. Dow ends up 160 points, but wasn't exactly a perfect day. But looks like the Crowder family is going to eat all right.
So you're not getting the ribeyes tonight, but you're also not getting those cup of soups, right?
Yeah, I think
you're not getting any ramen
with ground turkey spaghetti. This is a ground turkey spaghetti night.
I don't know. I feel like you're a higher class of person than having ground turkey spaghetti.
It's healthier than beef.
Yeah, but you guys feel like more of a bolognese household, not just like with actual meat, not the turkey stuff.
You say some meals. You said a meal earlier I've never heard before in my life.
What, rigatoni alla vodka?
No, Jack. Don't know
what are you talking about? Have you been to Carbone?
Yes.
So you've had the spicy rigatoni alla vodka.
That's alla vodka? We just call it spicy rigatoni in the hood.
Oh, okay. Well, I will try to get blacker for you next time, all right? Give me that vodka.
Well,
Make it spicy, bitch.
That's a whole you yell, give me the vodka. That's a whole different thing.
Actually, a lot of green on Wall Street today, gentlemen. Dow up 160 points. S&P 500 up 24 points, so slight movement there. Nasdaq up 170 points, 0.6%. So decent day. It was a green day on Wall Street again. That's brought to you by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. You want to do headlines here? Should I just jump right into headlines?
Yeah, just go to, here's the headlines. Ready? You get to the read, and the headline is Klay Thompson's a member of the Miami Heat, and we have a lot to react to from that press conference.
Yep, they're brought to you by Doral Hyundai in Miami. We go to the beach for a little solcito, and when we want a low price, you save with your Pricito. Save now with your Pricito at Doral Hyundai.
Here are my takeaways from the press conference. I love the Spoelstra line of we're putting together this team for a new history, and we think we have something special. That was in response to some of the comparisons of Ray Allen and Klay Thompson. He said, I could see why, but we're putting together this team for a new history, and we think we have something special. I also hearing from Klay, he picked to come here and took less. Ira Winderman, by the way, dominated that press conference with question after question after question. Ira's voice is so recognizable. And a question that Ira asked him about taking less to come here, he said, I want to play at a high level of basketball throughout the season and a deep postseason run. Wants to taste winning again and now has a new jolt of energy being here. And I thought the biggest thing from a basketball standpoint, first off, nobody asked him if he was going to start. So I guess I'm the only one on the island thinking he's coming off the bench. I guess everyone just believes he's going to be the starter here. But I thought the biggest thing was him pointing out, and you heard Spo talk about it, you heard himself talk about it in Klay Thompson. There's been this narrative that he'd have no shooting. Clearly, he believes that they have more than enough shooting. And not only that, the way that these guys could drive to the basket with Giannis and Wiggins and Bam, that's going to clog up so much of the paint that's going to even free up more for a guy like Klay Thompson who could just sit there on the perimeter and just bang in three after three after three.
My first note is Clay and Spo, stop slamming the damn podium.
Yeah, good call.
It was beating the podium. But you know what? The understanding of what he's doing here was cool with me. Clay is honest. Like, he's honest as hell. I don't play defense like I used to, but I got them big boys behind me helping me out. I'm going to space the floor. Yeah, I'm going to space the floor. And then Spoelstra, he was like, man, Giannis and Bam are so good. They're going to get him so many opportunities. We know what this is. I'm glad they're acting like they don't. But the biggest takeaway for me was he said he's in a redemption season. He feels like he's been disrespected. They're moving him around. He's coming out here for blood, and I love it.
That's the chip on the shoulder thing. And I know it's trivial. I said this yesterday, Gelb, to Crowder, that I know this is used a lot in sports. Like, everybody's against me. Nobody believed in me. Prove the doubters wrong. But with Klay Thompson, he was disrespected. He felt disrespected, right? On the way out of Golden State. Draymond got his money. They were willing to pay Kevin Durant whatever. They pay Steph Curry his money. And he was kind of the odd man out there, even though, hey, he was a splash brother. Had as much to do with those titles as anybody outside of Steph Curry. Then goes to Dallas and gets screwed, plays 21 games with Luka Doncic, where he was expecting to compete for titles there as well. So this really is like the last opportunity for him to find a landing spot to go compete for titles and give the double middle fingers to Golden State for not paying him.
And isn't it crazy? And I actually think it was the right move by Golden State to let him go. Like, that is Golden State's biggest problem, why they have not been able to elongate the championship window of Steph Curry. And it's why Bob Myers is no longer the GM there, is because they didn't want to say we're not bringing back Draymond. Like, they eventually said, okay, Clay, because of all the injuries, we can't bring you back. But it's wild how far away we are, and it's not that far, where Clay goes to a spot in Miami and could legitimately say they're at the podium, because you always have that players go there, oh, this is new life, oh, I get a chance to win again. But he hasn't been in a winning situation in some time now, where he does get that itch, knowing how addictive it is. And he even said, hey, I'd rather go to the NBA Finals and lose than not get there at all. Like, that's the level of deepness it's been in some of the, I say this in air quotes, horrors that he's been through in the last few seasons.
Yeah, 4 championships, and now I'm getting bounced around like I'm an extra piece on some trade block. No, man, this is not who I am. Let remember who I am in Miami. I think he's gonna go back and say, yeah, watch this.
By the way, do you have any idea what my favorite part of the press conference was?
I think I have an idea. When he calls Pelle Larson Pele, and then asks, what's his name? Yeah, what's his name? Pele.
We're now going to call him Pele Larson. Like, I think it's great. Is he playing soccer? Is he playing basketball? That's Solana's guy. And Klay Thompson, Solana treats him as if he's the greatest player of all time. Klay Thompson couldn't even get his damn name right.
But then he complimented him. He said he was somewhere in Spain working real hard. Then
you heard what he said, right?
That's a Heat guy. I like that. I see. Look at you. I like it, Gail. You can do what you want to. Go to hell. I like it.
There was movement over here, fellas, when I heard that.
Yeah. About 4 inches came up in Solana's underwear. Oh, my God. Did you see the look on Solana's face right there? Solana, I don't know. Maybe it's because we had to carry the press conference live. Solana, he wears his emotions on his sleeves. He wants to be a perfectionist. All right, the echo was going on in the stream before. So Solana was very stressed for the first 2 hours of the show. He just took a sip of whatever he was drinking and gave you that, like, devilish rat look eye that he gives you. He goes, yeah, but did you hear what he said? Come on, what are we doing? Did you hear what he said? Solana's back. He's back. He's returned. I love it.
Called him a Heat guy, Crowder. Called him a Heat guy. What have I been telling you? Pelle Larson's time, or Pele, whatever. I'll buy in, Clay.
Move
That's
over,
fine.
Messi.
Pele's time is now. I'm telling you, man. He's going to be big on this team.
Solana, you've tricked me so many times in the last 10 years. I need to see it, man.
I've been right about a couple guys. Caleb Martin gave us one really great series in the Eastern Conference Finals in 2023. Haywood Highsmith, Duncan Robinson. I was right about that. Like, every now and then.
Gabe Vincent was the next Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Well, go watch the 2023 run. He looked like a pretty good point guard.
He wouldn't even take him back if you begged him.
Watching games. Solana saying, you got to see this guy. I watched him last night, Solana. What do you mean I got to see him? No, trust me.
Pele Larson. Oh, that I'm listening to the press conference. I'm like, let's be real. It's awesome that he's here, but most of it, outside of the redemption tour and all that, most of it was kind of ho-hum. But when he said Pele Larson, I was like, yes, 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 yes.
And watching it, Spo hates being up there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
because
where was Pat?
basketball.
I think Pat's in Europe.
Nah.
I think.
No, what about him not talking to Giannis? Giannis can't give him a call from Spain. I know that, it's not midnight
Greece.
over there, whatever. Greece. Come on now.
That'll
I did
be
a
fi-
I did a show. I did a show from Egypt and Kenya. I know Giannis can call.
But here's
Klay
the difference.
Thompson.
You don't know what it's like to be an all-time great. Giannis and Clay are all-time greats. I think it's just like a code in that fraternity. We'll talk when we see each other. I know what I'm getting with you. You know what you're getting with me. We're going to be one big happy family.
Why are you trying to make fun of me, man? I made a couple tackles.
No, I'm just you've had a wonderful career. A lot of people would
joking.
dream of it, but you're
messing
not
around.
Ray Lewis. Actually, maybe a good thing that you're not Ray Lewis. You don't have to put a few tear marks on your face. But I just say it.
Man, leave baby Ray alone.
Okay, fine. I'll give you another one. Hey, you're not Dick Butkus, all right?
I think I was better than Dick Butkus if I played back then.
No shot.
Have you ever watched Dick Butkus play? We're so odd. We don't get into this, but
No, I'm 32.
Okay. We'll watch some highlights. He stood in the middle and just hit people. Couldn't cover, couldn't blitz.
Yeah, he's an iconic football name.
Yeah.
No offense, Channing. I love you. I've known you for 15 years. No one is mentioning your name in the same conversation as Dick Butkus. They're gonna say, "Oh, yeah, that guy on the pivot." They're not gonna say that linebacker.
No, they don't have the eye test.
But I once picked off Tom Brady that one time. It was outstanding.
Want me to get the ball? It's behind me somewhere.
You have the ball still on your mantle?
Well, never mind. Let me see all the little. This is the trophy room, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Hey, can you send me some Crowder powder, by the way?
I got you, baby.
I would like some Crowder powder. I got to try this stuff.
Oh,
I got to season my meat with some Crowder powder.
With your giggle made me think you was talking about something nasty.
No.
Yes. Put it on
I'm
steak.
talking about the steaks.
Put it
the
on
chicken.
steak, chicken, whatever you want. It's all purpose, whatever. We got seafood. We got taco. You like tacos?
Yeah.
Crowderpowder.com.
Okay. I'm against Taco Tuesday now. LeBron ruined it for me. I'm out. LeBron didn't come to Miami. I'm out on Taco Tuesday now.
Oh, love me a taco.
I use Crowder powder every week, Al, but genuinely it is fire.
But do you actually?
I co-sign.
Like,
I really
is that just a thing that you're trying to be in his good graces because you're on the same show with him, and then you just say, "Oh, you love it," but then not in reality?
Good
I'll
graces,
tell you
dude.
the truth. Solana has no interest in being in my good graces.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this show functions better when Crowder and I are not in each other's good graces, but it is 100% true. I co-sign on Crowder powder. I use it every single week.
Hey, by the way, Crowder, not to intentionally get serious, but I'm going to get serious here for a second.
fine.
There was a study that came out that said at least 25% of the NFL players in a sample had CTE, and it goes back to at least 1 in 4 NFL players who died between 2016 and 2021 had been diagnosed with CTE. That's what a new study revealed. When you saw that today, just like what kind of emotions does it elicit?
You know what? It's fear. It's unknown. That's what it is. The unknown, because you don't find out until you're dead. They have to do the biopsy on your brain. That's the thing. Like, it's the unknown is scary. It really is. Because I used to hit with my head. So why do some guys get it, some guys don't? What's the severities of it? They put it out. We talk about it. They change rules for it, but they really don't know what the hell's going on. Because I have to die for you to tell me I have it. That's scary as hell.
Yeah, and I think that it's obvious with some people, like that, okay, they probably do have CT, and a lot of guys claim it. Sometimes it does annoy me when people just see someone do something wrong that played in the NFL. It's like, oh, that guy had CT. I don't think that's right either. But I'll ask you this question. You have kids. Do you want them to play football?
I don't. Would I say want them to? No. Little Chan's going to play in high school because he wants to. And I'm not going to hold him back from, doing what he wants to do. And, but you brought up something. like you're saying, a little more serious. There are people like there's the CTE money and the studies that you get a checking on. There's people that they fail to test on purpose to get the CTE money. Then there's guys that really have CTE that now you're taking deeper tests, almost getting questions about your feelings, your emotions, because it's nothing physical you can see. It's not like, hey, MRI my knee, my ACL's torn. You can't MRI a brain and see if somebody has CTE. So there are people taking advantage of the system, and I think that makes it harder on people that are really struggling mentally. And I just don't think it's fair, and I think it's kind of a bad person, an evil thing to just try to take advantage of something that kills so many guys, hurts so many families, so that you can get a check. I just think that's an evil thing to do.
So the NFL does something where you take a test, and then if they think you have CTE, you get money?
It's like, yes, it's a cognitive test, but it's more, they hate using the word CTE because what was that? The Will Smith movie?
Yeah.
That's when it blew up. Concussion. That's when it blew up. So it's like cognitive brain, different words. There's different tests, but it's not say CTE, but yeah, you take tests, you do computer tests, you take a test, and then you have to go back the next day, take it again. Then they do like these light tests on you. It's all kind of stuff they do to try
Is that for any former player? Like you could just say, hey, like, I think I may have this. Let me take a test, or is it, how does that process work?
There's multiple. You look into it. The NFL has a team. The NFLPA has a team. The Trust has a team. The NFLPA actually, that's the one I took, was a player association. The Trust, remember Lou Saka Polite? He's a big part of the Trust and all that stuff. Dwayne Starks, there's a bunch of guys involved trying to get other guys to take full advantage of their the post-career medical stuff that you should take care of. I'll be honest, I would say 70% of the guys don't even look into it.
I didn't even know it was a thing. Like, I have a friend who played college ball, and he now coaches high school. And anytime, like, he wouldn't see the movie Concussion. Anytime CT, he's like, I don't even want to know. Like, I don't even want to know what's out there, because the guy was an offensive lineman. Like, how many times is he banging his head up against somebody else? So, it's the unfortunate part of the game, but I think that's the most difficult part, because, like, I don't think I would want my kids to play football. But then if your kid comes up to you and says, no, Dad, like, I want to play, that's probably got to be tough as a parent to tell them no when they really want to do something, especially when it's been so prevalent in your family playing football.
Yeah. And then, like, depression and anxiety and all that stuff comes with CTE, comes with head injuries. But the guy that works at Walgreens, the car salesman, they're depressed too and didn't hit anybody with their head their whole life.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? And that's the wild part to it, was that, like, Junior Seau, after he committed suicide, they said he had CTE after post-mortem, whatever it is. Yeah. So he has to die. Oh, now you have CTE. But what if I'm depressed from CTE, or I'm depressed because I got divorced, or I'm depressed because my parents died? Like, there are no answers to it. That's why I say the first thing I said is fear of the unknown. I don't know what's going on in my brain. I wish I did. I wish y'all had a test. They don't have a test. Please come up with a test.
Yeah, and that's a thing. I think it was 4 or 5 years ago. I was at a Super Bowl at Radio Row. They had some doctor out there that was pretty confident that one day they'd be able to diagnose CTE in living people, right? Because you only diagnose it once you're dead. And I not that I follow it that intently, but it doesn't seem like there's been that much progress made on that front.
No, they talk about it's like tau is like a protein buildup, but a lot of people have it. But they were saying more in boxers, and it's another weird soccer players do it because all the headers and all that stuff. But you have to be able to prove that study, and I think it's in the. To your point, I think it's in the elementary part of the study that they're in. They're not even getting to middle school or high school yet.
Well, like, you put like a guy like Antonio Brown. Like, if I had to guess, he probably has it. Like, I know he makes fun of CTE and he does all these outlandish things. And it's just that hit that he took up against, I think it was the Bengals. It's like that dude has been totally different ever since that moment. And you look at it, and the weird part is he kind of makes fun of it. Yeah. But then you're sitting there and you go, no, this dude got so off the track and so far off the rails that you almost got to think that he has to have it.
Yeah. I've been knocked out to sleep, like sleeping, wake up, look around, don't know where I am 4 times. But they said once the concussion thing came out, they said if you ever see the little stars or if you get up and stumble, like Tua did a couple times, you're stumbling because your brain hit your skull. How many times have my brain hit my skull, Gelby? I don't know.
Yeah.
And I am scared of I'm almost to the point about your friend. I'm almost scared to find out.
Yeah, because how many times did you probably have a concussion? You had no clue. Like you just didn't get diagnosed.
Man, I can't even say how many times with me and Zach, and I played with Zach for 4 years, where I would see him hit a dude and he'd say, CC, call the huddle. Because you see him trying to shake.
Mm-hmm.
You hit a guy, you open your eyes and you have tunnel vision. And then it slowly opens up. And then these little the yellow and black lights start flashing. And 20, 30 seconds later, you're fine. Why did I see out of 2 straws for 5 seconds? My brain hit my skull. Zach did it to me. I did it to Zach.
Yeah. Hey, obviously this goes without being said. It's weird when I have to be like nice on this show. Usually they just have me come in here and just be this jackass that yells and makes fun of everybody. Like you seem to be having a pretty damn good life though. But yeah, I got to imagine that unknown has to scare the living crap out of you because, you're how old are you right now, Channing?
42.
42. And it's like, you never know when it's going to hit you. Like you see the stuff with Chris Johnson. You see the stuff with other guys. Like it's not just CTE. And you wonder, when does it catch up with you? Because you got, 3 beautiful children right now? It's like you want to be there for as long as you possibly can.
I'm good at 42. What about 52? What about 62? Those are the questions that you ask when people do ask that question, Gil, like you did. I think about, and okay, I'm good. But what about in 30 years?
Yeah. Well, I'll push you around if you need to be pushed around, by the way. I'll come down to South Florida. We'll put some Crowder powder on the steaks. We'll get you to the grill. I'll push you back. I'll throw you on my shoulder, do the fireman's carry. We'll be all right.
You a good man, Gelb.
Yeah, but anytime Gelb says the word back now, all I can think about is him waxing his back, and it just makes me uneasy.
Once
man.
a year, whenever I feel those hairs stand too tall, I'm like, got to go to the wax.
That lady retired after she did that.
Yeah, she made so much money.
I was a 6-hour job.
All righty, Solana, what do you got to get weather? Then we'll get Tobin on.
Yeah, no, Tobin is going to join us at 5.
Okay.
You have to push back just a little bit, so he's going to join us at 5. Your weather in South Florida right now, 90 degrees. By the way, Marlins do play tonight, trying to get back on the winning track against the Red Sox, live from Lone Depot Park, also live here on your home for Marlins Baseball FM 104.3 WQAM. Your weather, it is still hot in South Florida. That's brought to you by Tornado Roofing and Contracting. If you have a leaky roof, take action now and get your free estimate. Call 954-968-8155.
All righty, it's Hochman, Crowder, and Solana. Gelbin for Hawk. We got to get a read-in with Channing, and we'll come on back after these short messages. We need to make sure that Channing gets the read-in, because then if he can't read it, then people are going to say he failed that test, and they're going to have to give him a lot of money. So you know what? Maybe you mess up the read here.
Pretty funny for Crowder not to remember he has to do a read after that entire conversation.
Y'all ain't worth a damn. You know who is? Allied Doors. If your garage doors are outdated, damaged, or not hurricane ready, do not wait. Call Allied Doors today. They are the best. And then, like I always talk about the hurricanes. What about the holes and the bugs get in, and when it rains, the water splashes in? Protect that beautiful home of yours. You have a beautiful family. You have a beautiful yard. You have a beautiful house. You need to protect it with Allied Doors. They've been serving South Florida since 1966 now. That's 60 years of trusted family-owned service. You don't do anything 60 years without being great at it. They are the best. Huge in-stock inventory, same-day service, custom impact-rated doors that are built to protect and upgrade your home fast. And the LiftMaster openers, y'all remember when you were a kid, you thought the garage door opener had to be loud. It takes a minute to open. Check out these LiftMasters. They are built to perform, takes moments, seconds to go up, and they are quiet. They have wall mounted, they have ceiling mounted, personal home protected by Allied Doors, investment properties protected by Allied Doors, and you need to get your house protected and upgraded with Allied Doors fast. Give them a call today. 954-942-8550. That's 954-942-8550, or visit allied-doors.com. Mention this ad and you get $300 off protecting and upgrading your home. $300 off. Don't wait. Call Allied Doors today.
You're listening to the Hawk, Crowder,
Run out of juice. Whew.
Alrighty, welcome back in. It is Hochman, Crowder, and Solana. Gelbin for Hawk on this Tuesday. Brendan Tobin, he's going to join us coming up at 5 p.m. We'll get his reaction to the entire Klay Thompson press conference that we did air right here on 104.3 FM WQAM. Let's get into a little Dolphins talk right now, though. And we got to do our 15 minutes, sponsored read right here when we get to the Miami Dolphins stuff. I don't know if I have the read, guys. That's the thing. So Solana may have to help me out with this one.
Yeah, no problem. I got you, Gelby. This is 15 minutes of Game Day Uncensored. Just a reminder, speaking of the aforementioned Brendan Tobin, will be live this Friday, Dolphins' final preseason game. Game Day Uncensored, it starts at 5. Our show will end an hour early. We'll take you up until kickoff. Game Day Uncensored, brought to you by the Invitation to Lexus Summer Sales Event. Get offers on select models now through August 31st.
So I was watching ESPN this morning, and they had Jason McCourty on, and they had Evan Cohen on. And they were doing this fantasy football draft where they took 4 running backs, they took 4 wide receivers, and then they, I think, took a tight end each and a quarterback each. So for the 4 running backs they took, the first one was Bijan Robinson, and that was by Jason McCourty. The second one was Jahmyr Gibbs, who was by Evan Cohen. The third running back was Devon Achane. How about that for a little national love with Devon Achane, who we saw a few lists come out, top 10. The Madden rankings had him as the 11th ranked running back. CBS had him as the 8th best running back. And I said for fantasy football, like Devon Achane has to be a top 5, top 10 name easily, because not only can he dice you up in between the tackles and running the football, but catching the football out of that backfield in an offense that also has no wide receivers. This dude, and I've said this a bunch of times throughout the summer, he's not going to win the MVP this year. He will not win the MVP this year, Devon Achane. But if you look at value to a person's team, I really do not know how many more players are more valuable to a team than Devon Achane is to the Miami Dolphins, because without him, they're already lost, but they would be really lost without him.
Opportunities that he's going to have touching that ball. That's what it is. They're going to – I've said if he doesn't get the ball 25 times a game, they're crazy. 15 runs, 10 screens, put him at slot. Do the Bijan Robinson with him. Get the ball in his hands, good things will happen. Don't get in his hands, I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and that's the best thing I think of this offseason. And it's so tough because the bar is so low. And Hafley comes in, you talk about being around the team and his no-nonsense approach. And I know the line hasn't looked all that well in the week with the Giants, with the one joint practice that they had. We were sitting here and everyone was talking about Kayvon Thibodeau and Abdul Carter and Brian Burns just abusing this Dolphins offensive line. But, like, those are the little things where Hafley's talking about building back up the trenches and how much Chris Greer kind of made fun of it when you would ask him, like, hey, the reporters ask more about it than we actually talk about it. But from a John Eric Sullivan standpoint, it's so tough to judge him based off anything. But I think they did a nice job in the draft. But really the thing that I will hang my hat on is that he got Jordan Brooks to stay here. He got Devon Achane to stay here, because they could have shipped both those guys out of town just like they did with Jalen Waddle. But it's one thing to keep them here. It's another thing then to pay them, to get both those guys taken care of. I thought was a really important part, because it's rare to say that a running back is a building block to an organization's success. But without knowing who's going to be the future quarterback, a guy like Devon Achane is absolutely a building block.
I know Hafley's a defensive guy, but go see how Green Bay played last year. Go see what Josh Jacobs did last year. They're going to run the ball. It's a philosophy. I know he's not the offensive coordinator, but Devon Achane is going to run the ball. Oh, yeah. And he's one of the best receiving running backs in the world.
He's phenomenal. And Malik Willis is going to need to use him and use him and use him and use him. And there's going to be – that's my only fear with Devon Achane this year is durability. How is he going to last throughout this season? Because he is clearly their best running back. Right now, I would say – he's their best pass catcher, because there's not a lot of guys on this team. There's no one in this wide receiving unit. The one guy that had the one-handed catch, we're all sitting there freaking out there in the preseason game because the bar is that low at that position.
And he's a puppy. That was Caleb Douglas. The one pushback, maybe that Christian McCaffrey, man. Christian McCaffrey could run that biscuit now.
Yeah. McCaffrey,
It's
I still think he's the best running back in football.
no,
because
no, Gail. That
No?
boy in Atlanta, Bijan Robinson.
I love Bijan Robinson. That's my guy. I've had him on the show a bunch, but Christian McCaffrey, as long as he stays healthy, what that dude does, I get it. Bijan is phenomenal. It's like, all right, you're picking your favorite slice of pizza. Like, I get it, right? There's one person may like buffalo chicken, another person may like pepperoni. They're both still damn good pizza slices. With the longevity that McCaffrey has done it, I still lean him slightly. But geez, that's the thing. McCaffrey has had health issues, and I wonder with Devon H and how much they're going to use him this year. Can he make it through the season?
Same size back. Bijan is built like a defensive end. He'll be fine. Bijan's a monster.
Yeah, but you see who Christian McCaffrey is married to? You know, it's got to extend your career a little bit. Gives you an few extra pep in your step.
No, no pep in his step. That's going to kill your legs.
I don't know. I'd be waking up like the happiest person in the world. Please. Let's be real. Hello.
That's not good.
So there we go. Well, we got to take a break here, Solana.
Yeah,
to get to Tobin. All righty. So we'll take a break right here. It's Hochman, Crowder, and Solana. Gelbin for Hawk on this Tuesday. We'll come on back. We'll get Brendan Tobin's reaction to the Klay Thompson press conference. And we'll see if he likes Pele Larson. Oh, man, that was awesome. Love it. Oh, that's phenomenal. We're coming on back, 104.3 FM WQAM.
You're listening to the Hawk, Crowder, and Solana Show.
And he kicks people in the penis.
All righty, welcome back in. 5 o'clock hour. It is Hochman, Crowder, and Solana. Gelbin for Hawk on this Tuesday. We'll go to Kaseya Center in just a few seconds as Brendan Tobin was at the press conference. Obviously, you can listen to it middays right here on 104.3 FM, WQAM with Tobin and Leroy. But first, let's quickly squeeze in a few headlines and get to a weather update with Alejandro Solana.
Yeah, they're sponsored by Doral Hyundai. In Miami, we go to the beach for a little solcito, and when we want a low price, you save with your Pricito. Save now with your Pricito at Doral Hyundai. Klay Thompson officially introduced. He will wear the number 11 jersey. Tonight in Miami, Los Marlins, they will play the Boston Red Sox. Sandy pitched pretty much a gem yesterday, gets pulled, and then, what's new? The rotation blows it. So the Marlins will try to salvage this series. 6:40 p.m. is your first pitch. Listen to the game right here, FM 104.3 WQAM. And very quickly here, interesting stuff in the NFL because Jamar Chase, it was reported, left practice with what looked like a major scary knee injury. But he spoke to reporters after practice, quote, "Just a little tweak. I'm fine. Feel good." He said he called it a hyperextension in his left knee, and he said he wanted to keep practicing, but the team shut him down. He also said he could play a game tomorrow if needed. So
you know what that sounds like to me, Channing? Yeah, it's August 25th. Oh, the back, the hamstring, the knee hurts. Just get me to the effing season.
Yeah. They need him.
I would be doing that all the time. Like when you have a guy scores a touchdown and he acts like he's hurt and then he starts twerking, I would just act like I'm hurt, then get in the locker room and start twerking to get out of these monotonous training camp practices.
Your weather, it's hot. That's your weather. That's brought to you by Tornado Roofing and Contracting. Don't wait until the next storm hits. Get your free roof and window estimate. Call 954-968-8155.
All righty, let's bring on Brendan Tobin, who was at the Klay Thompson press conference. He joins us in the Toyota of Hollywood hotline. Shop over 2,000 Toyotas on sale at one location, Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan, toyotaofhollywood.com. Mr. Tobin, how are you?
I'm good. How are you boys? Thanks for having me.
Well, we appreciate you jumping on board with us. Biggest takeaway from the press conference for us, it was that this seems like it's a motivated Klay Thompson that still has a lot of energy and gas left in the tank and wants to prove a lot of people wrong.
Yeah, I think that was the same thing for me. I thought that his term, calling it a redemption season, is what stood out. And I just got to sit down with him for a little bit, and he kind of expanded on it. He's just like, yeah, I'm wired like that. Like, I don't want to just be sitting on my accolades as a, 4-time champion, going to the Hall of Fame. So, yeah, he does. He seems very comfortable here. He seems like this was on his mind. There wasn't a lot of debate about the teams that he wanted to go to. He's a savvy guy. I mean, he knows how good Giannis is, having shooters around him. I thought that was something that stood out too. Like, this wasn't necessarily a ton of personal relationships, not even with Spo. Like, he just kind of zoomed in on this and was like, he knew they wanted him. He kind of wanted them. And hopefully it's a match made in heaven.
Hey, Tobe, did he come here to start?
I think so. I think that's the idea, Channing. I don't think they're bringing him in here. I mean, he did go into that role last year for the first time in a long time, but I'd imagine, based on the respect Spo has for him, that's probably the direction that they're going to go, even though they did bring in Tim Hardaway Jr. and certainly is capable of doing that. But I think that's probably, Timmy's certainly capable of coming off the bench and being that scorcher from downtown as well. So I think that's probably where he's going to be penciled in, but obviously he's gotten a taste of both roles now after his time in Dallas.
Hey, Tobin, this kind of reeks to me like this entire build of Pat Riley saying, all right, I tried the cute little stuff with the kids. I tried to do it with the young guys. We tried to do it through the draft. F this, my last go around. We're going to do it the way I know how to do it. Like, here's the recipe that's worked for me. I go get the superstar, and then I go get the aging veterans who have either won it already or want to win it again and have a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing, too, because it feels like we're going away from that. It feels like the chic thing right now in the NBA is go young because of the success of the Thunder and the success of, the Spurs going the way that they did. But there is still something to be said about scars. I mean, look, the Knicks, as much as it pains me to see them, kind of work their way through everything to get where they are. I still think there is value in that. And I think the interesting thing is you got a guy in Klay Thompson who very clearly feel like he still has something to prove. You have a guy in Giannis who, strangely enough, even with all his talents, people are like, is he even a top 5 guy anymore? Is he closer to the top 10? So he feels like he's got something to prove. Bam's never won the championship. He's always getting overlooked. So I think that could be an interesting mix for these guys. But certainly, I think if they were going to keep a young guy that they wanted here, I think if they could have picked anybody, it probably would have been Pelle Larsson. But yeah, they want to lean on experience. The coach values it.
Excuse me, that is Pele Larson to you. Let's get.
Oh yes, of course. Well, they were in Spain.
Right.
He was trying to. He was maybe he was confused at the time, but that was Goosey's moment where he said Pelle Larsson impressed him.
Oh my God!
Called him a Heat guy.
And he's got a headband now, Gelb. Like he was already handsome enough. Now he's got accessories.
Heard that. He was brick hard in the studio, and it's not because that studio's at 65 degrees today.
Understandable. That's pants tent time right there.
Yeah.
When you look at the state of the East, right now with all the moves this offseason, I have the Knicks and the Sixers in front of the Heat. I think the Heat are the third best team, is I think the highest you could go, the lowest probably 5. Like this team easily should be a playoff team this year, and they should easily win a playoff series, correct?
Yeah, I think this is going to be the interesting thing because I do agree with you. I like both of those teams' talents. I think you got to give respect to the champion. I feel like on paper the Sixers work, but I could also see them being a team that maybe has a tough start of it before they really figure things out. And then, of course, Joe's got to factor in Embiid. Miami, to me, my big thing is going to be I feel like the regular season – they're going to be a juggernaut because they have a lot of really hard playing players who are going to have a defensive identity. Let's be real about the NBA. People are going to come in here sleepy on Miami certain dates, and these guys are all a little bit older. They're not, howling at the moon. So I think that they can get the jump on guys with that. I'm curious to see what it translates to in the playoffs because I think one of the big concerns we all have is, all right, well, what happens end of game when it slows down? Who's their go-to guy? But I think in the regular season, this is a team that can rack up wins, and I think they could do it pretty quickly. So where that actually puts in the pecking order of like how much are they a championship contender, I'm not sure yet. But I do think that this can be a 50 or 50-plus win team just based on what their identity is going to be and how hard they're going to play.
Yeah, and maybe we made it more of a bigger deal on this show on Friday when the news came out because right away I said, okay, this is a Ray Allen type of move. If I was the Heat, I would use Klay off the bench. And it's not that he's not capable of still starting, but just him being older now with the wear and tear, with the injury past too, I would rather save him up for the postseason and kind of meticulously manage those minutes off the bench in the regular season.
Yeah, I mean, strangely, he's been a pretty durable guy, but they did do that with him in Dallas last year in a non-winning situation. I think the thing that I like about it is when you look at a team like this and you have guys in Bam and Giannis who take up so much of the cap, I think it is important to just find those depth pieces because it is the NBA. It is a grind. There are going to be nights where a guy twists an ankle. So if Tim Hardaway Jr. had a guy close out on him and he lands on an ankle and he's out for 2 months, who the hell do you turn to on the team? So I think that's the important thing. It's the same reason when you're like looking at all the names and people were talking about like, hey, go get D'Angelo Russell. He can go get you 20. It's like, yeah, but what if Bam can't go one night and I need somebody to get me 7 rebounds? I probably should use one of those roster spots on getting a center who can actually do it because I think they know who their main players are on the team. I think that they know it's going to run through Bam, Giannis, trickle down to Wiggins and Klay. Whatever Davion gives you is going to be a plus. Pelle Larson's going to be electric off the bench. But you do need to fill in those gaps, and especially over 82 plus games with Adam Silver and his kooky in-season tournaments, you got to figure those things out. So I think this is a big thing to add to that depth on this team.
And Tobe, you said about the Philadelphia 76ers, they're going to need some time to figure it out, which they had a big turnover. Bro, the Heat had a big turnover too. Will they need time to figure this thing out?
Well, the reason I think it's a little different, Channing, here's why. I think everybody knows this is Giannis's team. Like that's why I think it's an easier transition of like, hey, we all know it's his team. Bam knows what it's like playing with a ball dominant guy. He knows how to fit into that ecosystem. The Sixers, it's like, hey, Tyrese Maxey, it's your team, but we got Joel Embiid, and it's kind of was his team, and we got LeBron James, and Jaylen Brown's telling you how much I want it to be. So I'm just curious to see what that's like of how they all fit into that ecosystem. Everything on this is centered around Giannis and how things are going to, and that hierarchy going down. We all know he's going to score the most points, get the most shots, and you're probably going to be Bam second, and then we all figure it out from there. Whereas Philadelphia, I still am kind of confused of like, all right, well, how do they go about this? Like, where does it lie as far as who's your point guard? Is it LeBron or is it Tyrese Maxey? They're still awesome. Like, ultimately in the NBA, talent can figure a lot of things out, but I do think it will take a little bit more time to figure out for them.
It's a great point because it probably should be Maxey's team, but you look at all the other dominoes that you laid out there on who could also claim it's their team. I'm not saying it reminds me of this because, hey, the Heat already won a championship with Dwayne Wade, but when LeBron got here, you knew LeBron was the best player, but there was that fine line of, oh, well, Wade was already here and established. It was at his team, and it took some time until they eventually won the championship.
But Jaylen Brown's not better than Maxey?
I would rather have Maxey than Jaylen Brown, if you ask me.
Not to have him, but just basketball wise, the number 6 in MVP scoring last year was Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, but you needed Tatum to be out for the season for him to get up to six.
And this is exactly why I think they have to figure it out. Like, like these are the debates. Like, there is no debate with the Heat. It's like, we know who the guy is. We all know.
No, it's Pelle Larsen's team, according to Solana.
No one loves
Pelle Larsen more than
or
him.
Jovic's. I mean, did you guys see him lock up Wembanyama?
Yeah, except for on the very last play where he guarded absolutely nobody and France won at the buzzer.
That was Jokic's fault, not Jovic's. He had Francisco walled off.
Tobin, is it crazy? And I'm not suggesting that the Heat have the most talent because obviously Philadelphia has more talent. You could argue San Antonio, Oklahoma City. But I kind of made the point, prisoner of the moment, I'm guilty of it. On Friday when it's announced Clay's coming to Miami, I said you could argue that the Miami Heat have the best roster in the NBA, top to bottom. Is that a fair argument to make, or am I reaching a little bit?
I think it's a little bit of a reach just because it depends on what Davion Mitchell ends up being. I think that's going to be a big key of this season. Like, we all love the summer that he's having. He's worked his ass off, but he's always been kind of a role guy. Even by deferment last year, he wanted to get the ball out to everybody, and usually you like that unselfishness, but we talk about the power of Maxey and Jalen Brunson, and he can go and take those guys defensively, but what about, can he go get some shots every now and then if somebody has foul trouble and things like that? So I think there's a little bit of a detriment offensively in the punch. I think that they fit their roles really well, but I think that's probably their biggest hindrance on top to bottom talent, because I think we know how this goes. If the Heat are struggling a little bit, people are going to be looking at Davion Mitchell and thinking, let's go trade for Kyrie Irving. If the Heat don't have a great showing, let's go amp it up and go get a better guard. So I think it's going to depend on what he can do this year. I mean, he's gotten himself in awesome shape. I think he's going to have the mindset to shoot open shots. But we've seen him play well in some play-in games, but I don't know what he's like through a whole playoff series. So he, to me, is a huge element of that, of like, if he is, going to take a kind of big step this year, then okay, I'll have that argument with you. But I still got questions as far as like, can he be the guy in a playoff series? I think, again, regular season, it's a different thing. I think he can be an engine for this team, but what about when the game slows down?
Brendan Tobin, I thought of it during the press conference today with how cheap Clay signed for. We saw what LeBron got in Philadelphia, how cheap it was, the sacrifice. We know that the Heat have had a tremendous offseason getting Giannis and Bobby Portis, and it just goes on and on and on. Was there a part of you today at the press that was like, man, imagine if they were able to get LeBron back and what this team could have been even more if you had LeBron, Klay Thompson, Giannis, and so on and so on?
Yeah, listen, he stuck his wagon to Joel Embiid. That's his fault. I mean, he made his choice. He knows how this is going to end. It's going to end with Joel Embiid falling too much, and he'd be like, man, I should have teamed up with Giannis and Bam. He made his choice. Reap what you sow. So, no, I haven't thought about it, to be honest with you. I certainly wanted to go down Nostalgiaville, but, he wanted to go, take some Fanatics cash and hang out with Joel Embiid. I mean, who could blame the guy?
You sat down with Clay a few moments ago. Was that right?
Yep.
Was there any iguana type of moment that you had with Giannis with Clay? Was there anything funky going on?
You know, I wanted to get to that. I got the sit down last minute, and I promised the PR department. So we were kind of going down Silly Sauceville. I just was getting to him. He's going to steal Chris Quinn's boat, but then I really did have to go. I was getting the rap sign, but I did want to go down that route. I will save that for media day.
All righty, Brendan Tobin at the Kaseya Center on the day that Klay Thompson introduced as the latest member of the Miami Heat. Tobes, we appreciate it. Thank you.
See you guys.
All righty, Brendan Tobin joining us. We'll take a timeout. By the way, Brendan Tobin joined us on the Toyota of Hollywood hotline. Shop over 2,000 Toyotas on sale at one location, Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan, toyotaofhollywood.com.
This is Hawk, Crowder, and Solana.
Everything that comes out of my mouth is generally wrong.
All righty, welcome back in. It is Hochman, Crowder, and Solana. Gelb in for Hawk on this Tuesday. Big day today, obviously, at 104.3 FM, WQAM. About like 3:30, 3:40. We did have the Klay Thompson press conference. Klay was stuck in a little bit of traffic, so that's why they got off to a 30 or 40-minute start. But lo and behold, better late than never. Klay was introduced as the latest member of the Miami Heat. I got to ask you guys a question before we get back into some Dolphins talk and some Heat talk. When I was flying down to the Miami airport on Saturday morning, we sat on the runway for about 45 minutes to an hour, which is just like the worst. They had like maintenance that had to be done with the plane. So it delayed it 45 minutes to an hour. Okay, whatever. I would rather just not even board the plane than have to sit on the runway. There's nothing more annoying on that, like on some of those planes, and just sit on the runway and having to wait. And you get the pilot saying, hello here from the flight deck. Coming up, we should be off the ground momentarily, and then momentarily turns into 45 minutes to an hour. But I'm sitting on the plane, and the plane eventually takes off. But for the 45 minutes before it takes off, there's a kid behind me, kicking the seat, and screaming on the top of his lungs. Now, like, I have sympathy, right? You got a kid, this wasn't like a 2-year-old or 3-year-old. The kid must have been 5 or 6, maybe even 7. That's a tough spot, delayed on the runway. I'm not sitting there. I'm not going to say anything. Then, the little drop down on the seat in front of you. I don't know. I don't know if they have that in first class, Channing, but for us people that sit in coach.
Drop down. Oh, the little table?
Yeah, the tray. The tray that they have. And then they also have something where you can put your phone on top.
Yeah.
The mom starts going, oh, put the cookies in the oven. And the kid starts lowering the tray table. Cookies are in the oven. Slamming the tray table.
Oh, man.
Kicking my seat. This went on the entirety of the flight. Yelling, screaming, kicking. Like, isn't there an obligation by the parent at some point to try to stop the kid? Like, hey, you can't kick this. Like, I didn't say a word on the flight. But just, hey, you can't kick this man's seat. And try to diffuse the situation a little bit instead of enabling it and having no care for your neighbors.
You can't control baby screaming or laughing or playing on all that. Just the noise, Gelb, you can't control. It's going to happen. Yep. A baby's going to cry for 3 hours because his ears are popping. If you touch my chair, I'm looking through the middle of the chairs and giving you the death stare. Not the baby. The baby can't control itself.
The parent.
You got to death stare the parent, and don't just peek. Don't peek. You got to be aggressive. Death stare.
Well, I did that once. I did turn around at one point because I was trying to see where the parent was, and then I saw the parent was right in the middle of it. And I turned around and I gave the parent a look, and for a second, you could tell that they saw me like, oh, but then they never stopped the kid. Here was the most egregious part. I guess it was a family traveling together. I don't think it was just mom, dad, and 6 kids. I think it was like an aunt and uncle and like other kids. They're foreign. And the reason why I say that is because the plane lands and the kid stands up immediately. So I let the 2 kids go in front of me. Mm-hmm. And then I let the dad follow him, right? Even though the mom was sitting next to the kids, there was a dad there. Then the rest of the family tried to walk in front of me. And I was like, no chance. I grabbed my bag, grabbed my girlfriend's bag, and said, we're getting off this plane. There was a lady that came up to me afterwards, and she said to me, nice old lady, she goes, that family was the rudest, biggest a-holes ever. And they didn't try to stop that kid once. And they tried to cut off other people as well because they were 2-3 rows because of how large they were before getting off the plane. The worst family. I don't know. Maybe it was just like a language barrier thing. They didn't realize it, but I don't know. No is no. Like, it's easy to just say no and stop.
The funniest thing I saw one time with that situation was there was a younger lady sitting in front of my row, and I had 2 like drunk white dudes next to me, and they're loud and they're moving and joking, and they hit her chair a couple times. So she held her button and just went back and forth over and over and over and over and over. And she did it, no exaggeration, 4 or 5 minutes.
So since I'm 6'4" and my knees are so damn tall, I've actually found the way to prevent people from leaning their seat back on the plane because I just jam my knees up, and anytime they try, it works every time. They physically can't because my knee is jamming up the plane. They look, they go, oh, I think this thing's broken. It's not reclining. It's no, my big old knees are up in your back.
Oh, Gail, I would dislocate your patella. I would
You give me a torn ACL.
I would slam my chair back so hard.
But I think what comes around goes around in life. Because when I was 5, I was definitely the kid. There was one time I was kicking a lady's chair, and the lady got up at the end of the flight, and she said, youngster, I'm going to come kick your crib tonight. That's what happened to me.
That's a good line.
I almost pulled it, but I just wanted to get off that damn plane. Absolutely miserable when you have this 5 or 6 or 7-year-old kid just kicking the seat the entire way and screaming. And what's the kid going to do? But the parents not trying to stop it is just inexcusable. Let's role play this real quickly. I am your child, Channing. You're sitting next to me. I'm kicking the seat. I'm screaming. How are you? What are you doing as a parent?
Hey, sit down. You want a pow pow? I don't want a pow pow. Okay. We're established at the Crowder facility.
Daddy!
No.
Where?
Listen, Gilby. I don't know
and
if you
I'm
know
kicking the seat still.
No, I don't know if you know you've heard about my parenting, me and Asia's parenting. So our kids are not screaming, they ain't kicking, they sitting still. Get on your iPad and don't do nothing crazy. And they listen.
So are you both bad cops, or is it good cop, bad cop in that relationship?
We swing back and forth. Yeah. Well, we've been together, 17 years, married 15
years. So you guys are
years.
Swingers? That's what you are?
We go back and forth. Hey, I see she's upset. I'll be like, hey, come here. Take it easy. She sees I'm pissed. She'll be like, hey, come over here. Take it
Little
easy.
Chance, like, I don't recognize mommy and daddy today. It's two new parents that just came in here.
Yeah. Little Chance, now he regulates. He'll tell his brother and sister, man, y'all better not do that. You know daddy gonna get hot. Yeah.
So
good parenting. Good parenting's a lost art in this world, though. It is.
Like, you have to fear your parents a little bit.
Yeah.
You got to I don't think there's anything wrong with fearing mom and dad a little bit, knowing that if I act like a little juvenile a-hole, mom and dad are not going to be happy.
I think the fear is when they're little. When they grow up, it has to be respect.
Yeah.
Like we do man, don't embarrass the family now. To respect the family name. A little,
you're wearing
Italian.
The Crowder name.
Yeah, a little mafia type thing. Hey, don't embarrass the family name.
Just make sure we got the gabagool, okay? Don't forget the gabagool. Leave the gun, take the cannoli. All right? That's
now you can't leave. That's my favorite one.
I just know that if I did that, my mom and dad would be grabbing my leg, like telling me to stop. Like, you're not going to get any snacks on the plane when they come around. Oh, this family, no effort.
Those are just people who don't travel. Like that has less to do with them being able to control their kids and those people just not traveling a lot. Because as somebody who has flown quite a bit, Crowder, you as well, like you take flights all the time. The idea of sitting through an entire flight with a kid hitting the back of your chair, you would hate to put anybody else through that. So, like, that person just doesn't travel. They have no idea, Gelb. Like, they probably didn't even realize. They probably didn't connect the idea of hitting that tray table that's connected to your chair is making this flight a miserable experience for you. Yeah. You got to say something, bro. I'm sorry. You got to say something. And I'm not the type of person that creates any sort of conflict with, like, randoms. Crowder knows. I hold the door open for somebody. They walk by. They don't say thank you. I'll whisper underneath my breath, "You're welcome." Yeah. You're welcome. I want to pretend I'm a big man, but I want no smoke with anybody. But in that situation, I would probably turn around and just say, "Excuse me, would you please tell your kid to shut the bleep up?"
But you know what? You see so many weird, like, videos on Play now of, like, people being accused as, like, a Karen or whatever. And you go, well, how'd the situation start? So if I stood up and I start yelling at this lady, like, hey, control your kid. Like, yeah, I may get some rounds of applause for some people because a lot of people on the plane probably had the same thought of me with how annoying their Rugrats were. But then I could also get recorded and it's, this mean, intimidating man was yelling at my kid because, and I don't know if the kid had anything wrong with him or anything like that. And I just know that there's always a way that on camera it gets spun where I'm the jackass, and it was what it was.
It goes back to something I tell helping you as a friend earlier, Gilb. Little less New York in the approach. Hey, handle your kid. No. Excuse me, ma'am. Your kid hit my chair. Can you grab him? Just something a little nicer than, hey, lady, handle your kid.
So I'll try this. Ready? Ma'am, hope you're having a great day. I'm trying to enjoy my flight.
Nah, you're already coming off like a douchebag. It's the
right.
it's
Take
the
two.
hand motions.
All right, ready?
Hey, ma'am.
Yeah, it's just something
I'm
weird
trying
about
to
it.
enjoy my flight, and your
No.
kid's kicking my seat. Can we please put an end to it? No? Well, tell that kid to shut up, or I'm going to smack him myself.
It's not the tone, it's the New York. You got to take the New
Yeah.
York totally out of it.
Maybe you handle this the right way, bro, because this probably would have ended up with you in handcuffs, the kid crying more. Like, maybe you just handled it the right way.
Yeah, just sat there and said nothing,
Yeah.
like a big wussy.
Yeah.
Yep.
All righty. It is the Hochman, Crowder, and Solana show right here on 104.3 FM WQAM.
Handle your kid.
Tell that kid to shut the bleep up, all righty? Enough with him.
You could have called the flight attendant over. You could pull that move.
Oh, that's soft.
Do you know how weird that is?
That's soft.
Ding! Hey, ma'am, this kid's being an a-hole. Can you tell him to stop?
Yeah.
Oh.
That lady has 300 people to handle, and you're going to mess with her about a little baby behind you?
Well, I mean, if you're sitting on the plane and the kid doesn't stop hitting the tray table and it's bothering you and you don't want to be confrontational, you go, you speak to the flight attendant nicely, politely, and say, hey, I know you've got a lot going on, and I apologize, but I don't want to start anything on this plane, and I'd like your assistance in handling this matter.
You don't want to start anything on this plane. Then they're going to get these air marshals on your ass, and you're going to be on, like, the watch list. That's the thing. I don't like causing any commotion on a plane because I got to fly a lot. You then get kicked off an airline because you were doing something right. They think you're a rude customer. Then I get thrown off the airline. I don't want to have to deal with that.
Pleasant.
Yeah. What you don't say doesn't hurt you. So I think, Zach, you did the right thing, man.
No, I didn't. I was completely in the wrong. I should have smacked that kid.
He brought it up because he's mad.
Yeah.
Oh, that little
about
kid.
it all weekend.
I hope he gets no cookies or brownies this year. I hope he gets coal for Christmas. Feliz Navidad. We'll take a timeout. Hochman, Crowder, and Solana Gelbin for Hawk.
Hey, I just $30 million in guaranteed prizes sound, man. $30 million.
Just as long as it's not for that kid, by the way. If that little rugrat ends up becoming rich gambling, screw him. F him.
Well, I don't think he's old enough to participate in this, but most of you listening likely are. You can cash in this football season in Las Vegas with 3 Circa Sports contests, entry starting at $1,000, all with no rake. First, you've got the Circa Million. 18 weeks of point spread action, 128 ways to win. Then it's the Circa Survivor. Pick one winner each week. Last one standing wins. And then it's the Big Daddy. It's the Circa Grandissimo with a $100,000 entry. You enter in Nevada, but you can play from anywhere. That's right, even here in Miami. Play from anywhere. Just have to enter in Nevada. That's $30 million in guaranteed prizes. Visit circasports.com for details.
You're listening to the Hawk, Crowder, and Solana show.
I don't want to be bathed, but if I have to be bathed, I need those Hochman hands.
Alrighty, Hochman, Crowder, and Solana. Gelbin for Hawk. I was talking to Solana because we only have 2 minutes here. I'm like, what should we do for a quick 2 minutes? And he said, well, Hafley said he's up in the air on the starters playing Friday versus the Falcons. I'm like, who cares? Then he said, KFC released a new Oreo chicken burger. So I quickly searched this. Just in, KFC to launch an Oreo chicken burger in China featuring black Oreo flavored buns, fried chicken, and mashed potatoes topped with crushed cookies.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds disgusting.
Yeah, but you're telling me you wouldn't try it, Gelb? Because I would call you a big fat liar if you said you wouldn't try this.
I wouldn't. The only way I would try it is if it was puff puff pastime or take an edible. I would not have to be in a sober state of. I would have to be in a very high state to try an Oreo chicken burger. Oreos with I've never thought about putting Oreos, chicken, and mashed potatoes together.
Well,
Those ain't no mashed potatoes, by the way.
Somebody who was hitting a little sativa probably did come up with this. But here's the thing, Gelb. Quickly.
Maybe indica.
Have you ever had a chicken sandwich? I'm not saying every chicken sandwich is great, but have you ever had a chicken sandwich that you regret? Because I haven't.
That's a fair point. That may be your best argument that you've ever had. Seriously. I don't know, though, with mashed potatoes and chicken and Oreo, that just doesn't work. All righty, that will do it for Hochman, Crowder, and Solana. We got Marlins baseball coming up next against the Red Sox. You keep it right here on 104.3 FM. Great job by Dan Day, Channing Crowder, Alejandro Solana. Also like to thank Roddy Jones and Tobin for joining us. We will talk to you tomorrow, everybody, at 2 p.m. I'm Zach Gelb. We out. Bye-bye. Peace.
Let me tell you about it.